Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Andrew Henderson, Garrett Dworshak, Dale Hummel, Casey Lavin, Thomas Rudolph, Bobby Merwin, Brooks Hatch, and more. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to the third and final game of the series between the Corvallis Knights and the Portland Pickles of the West Coast League's South Division. The Knights are seeking their second consecutive sweep in league play. Last night, a major reason for the fact that the Knights are in a position today on a warm Sunday afternoon in the Mid-Valley to sweep the series, the work of right-handed pitcher Zach Johnson out of West Lynn. Went to West Lynn his first couple of years, finished up his high school days at Lake Ridge, started his collegiate career on the Bluff, and will be moving on to Orem, Utah to compete for Utah Valley University. We'll learn all of these things and a little bit more about the highly competitive right-hander whose first love was football, but then saw a way forward, a path forward found as Bruce Sings and Colin went down to the water. Different kind of path forward found here for young Zach Johnson, and that's a path to continue his collegiate career in a land he's very familiar with, the state of Utah. A lot of family and relatives there, he tells me. We're going to hear more from Zach in a moment. The Knights will be seeking to sweep and stay hot in the West Coast League in their bid to win the second half and sew up a playoff berth and some home field advantage along the way that goes with it. Up next, Zach Johnson on a warm Sunday, 86 degrees, heading toward a high of just under 90. A warm, clear, beautiful afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Zach Johnson back in 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, a warm, gorgeous Sunday afternoon. The red-hot Corvallis Knights playing commensurate with our weather, hot and trying to stay that way, looking to sweep a second straight series in the West Coast League. And a guy that made it happen on the mound last night, maybe his best outing as a Knight. We'll find out what Zach himself thinks. Zach Johnson joining me. Zach, we'll kind of get your whole story here in a moment, I hope, about your journey now to Utah Valley and coming out of Lake Ridge High, etc. But let's start first with last night and how you felt out there. It looked like as the game went along, you just got better and better. Did it feel that way to you?
Yeah. Every outing that I have when I start, I feel a little nervous to begin with, but, it kind of leaves you once you, face a couple batters, get in the groove and get in a good rhythm, so. Yeah, I felt a lot better later on.
The command of your pitches, too. Bo said he looked at it as maybe 2.5 to 3, but the slider looked like it had good action all night long. Was that your best pitch last night?
Yeah, it certainly was. It felt a lot better than it usually is. I mean, I was throwing it a lot harder, so that probably has something to do with it. But, yeah, I mean, I was able to drop it in for strikes when I wanted to and, get chases. So,
Zach Johnson, my guest, I read in a story about you that at the age of 13, you already were developing a 4-pitch mix and decent command of those 4. What is that true? And then from now until the age you're at, I mean, that's kind of that can vacillate a little bit, I understand. But has that always been pretty much true of you as a pitcher?
Yeah, I mean, my dad pushed me to throw a curveball early on, so I developed the curveball pretty early, and then I developed a cutter, which is now my slider. But, yeah, I mean, I've always had a changeup too. But, yeah, I threw off speed pretty early on, so, yeah.
Yeah, I've read articles and have known controversy about curveball throwing at a young age. Did your dad monitor it enough that you felt like you never really put too much strain on the elbow and throwing curveball?
I mean, not really, because we didn't know much about back then. But I mean, I was really fortunate to have Coach Kevin Gunderson, very good. He's actually went to OSU, and he helped me a lot with that process early on. I think I started working with him at like 8 years old. So yeah, I was able to develop a curveball pretty good, and then. I mean, I've always had a really good feel for off-speed pitches and, and pitching in general, so I was able to work with that.
Zach, and in that respect, too, I would think that a guy like Gundy, good baseball people, can show you how to throw breaking stuff without putting too much, get the mechanics right. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, some guys have it and some guys don't. I mean, I work really hard to make my sinks better, my off speeds better every single day. I mean, I was lucky to, have a good feel for it early on, so I was able to, be kind of like above everyone else when it came to, the off speed. So, yeah.
So in your story, you connect with Gundy at a young age, and I know Kevin well. He's a legend here. I called his games when he played at Oregon State, so he's a hero to me and to Beaver Nation, so I'm glad you got connected with him. But as you grew up in the game, tell me a little bit about when you kind of realized that college baseball could be a path for you.
I mean, I always thought it was because, I mean, I've always had the love for baseball. I mean, I honestly wanted to play football in college because that was the sport I loved the most. But as high school got on, size played a little bit of factor. Wasn't too big wasn't big enough to play football. So I was pretty good at baseball still. So I quit football like my senior year and focused on baseball and, had a great season. And yeah, that's what I started thinking about it.
And from there, then, an opportunity out on the bluff with Portland. You're moving on to Utah Valley. We'll talk about it in a moment. But what about coming out of high school and choices, opportunities that were there for you?
Yeah. I mean, out of high school, I had two offers, one to Portland and Hawaii. And I wanted to be a little closer to home, so I took Portland. Loved the program, loved the coaching. I mean, I was really fortunate to play with them this past year. Had good experiences. I was able to pitch at Goss twice. And yeah.
What did that mean to you to pitch in this ballpark? Kind of knowing that Gundy pitched there, knowing the tradition of the Beavers. What was it like for you to do that?
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, it was really surreal. I mean, as a kid, I would come and watch Knights games when Kevin was coaching as the pitching coach. And I would come watch Beavers games all the time when Adley Rutschman was playing. And yeah, Kevin was watching me the second time I pitched here. So it was awesome.
The opportunity at Utah Valley, were you eager to get into the portal to see what else might be out there? I mean, I don't know how that whole world works, but it looks like you've landed in a good spot. Tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah, I mean, I talked with my family a lot about, maybe I can get a better opportunity somewhere else. I mean, and my family's all from Utah, so, I mean, once I went in the portal, Yeah, I mean, Utah Valley offered me, and I was really excited. And I just love to be in Utah.
Congratulations on that, Zach. Final thing, and that is we talk about Gunderson and an influence on your life. What about here and Coach Yoon and Bo and Brooke and the culture here? What it's been like for you to be with this program and perhaps how maybe some of the things and the ways it's helped you?
I think this is the best team that I've ever been on.
A warm Sunday afternoon in the Mid-Valley. We had a little glitch at the end of the interview with Zach Johnson. Our apologies for it, but it means we need to take another quick break, and we will give you the lineups and the first pitch from Ethan Ross in the series finale. 86 degrees in Portland. Back in 2 minutes with the game's first pitch. The Knights and Pickles on a hot Sunday in Corvallis coming up after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Ethan Ross warming up, and that won't take long. 86 degrees, moving to, I'm told, a high of 88, which means we're only adding 2 more degrees over the next couple of hours. That seems a little surprising to me. I would expect it to hit 90. That would be my guess on this Sunday afternoon, with 86 at 105, but we'll kind of keep an eye on that. More important, keep an eye on today's ball game, the series finale for the Knights and the Pickles, with the Knights seeking their second straight sweep in second half South Division play. Linfield University Day, which we'll talk about as we go. For Mark Magdaleno's Portland Pickles, leading off in left field, Jesse Pierce. Batting second at third base, Jackson Jaha. We really enjoyed the visit with John Jaha, 10-year major leaguer, in last night's broadcast. Batting third, the designated hitter, Dalton Mayshore. The cleanup hitter in right field, Zage Lancaster. Jack Metro batting fifth at shortstop. Armando Briseño hitting sixth at second base. Kevin Ferguson batting seventh at first base. Evan Cloyd was a late scratch in that spot. Hitting eighth and catching, Luke Bard. Batting ninth in center field, Kyler Stancato. And Jesse Alfaro will get the start for the Pickles, a right-hander out of Cal State Fullerton. For the Knights, leading off in center field, J.C. Ing. Tyler Quinn batting second at third base. Blake Avila hitting third at first. Under the bright Sunday afternoon sun, Ethan Ross rocks into his windup, delivers a fastball to Jesse Pierce. Swung on and missed, and we're underway on this pleasant Sunday. Thanks for joining us. The strike one pitch, that's down the middle for strike two. Noah Hobart calling balls and strikes today with Billy Yeager on the base paths. No balls and 2 strikes to the right-hand hitting Jesse Pierce against Ethan Ross. The lefty to the plate, fastball swung on and missed. Quick work made of Jesse Pierce, a 3-pitch strikeout for Ross to open this Sunday afternoon affair. And that'll bring to the plate Jackson Jaha. Big right-hand hitting third baseman, and in that respect, after sitting up close with John here last night, Jackson certainly a chip off the block in terms of a strong physical presence at the plate. The pitch to Jackson, a strike, and the count 0-1. Just getting started on this Sunday afternoon, Ethan Ross throwing fastballs. That's 5 in a row, and this strike one fastball swung on and missed, and the count to Jackson, no balls and 2 strikes. Jackson Jaha in the 2-hole today, playing in his 6th game. The strike 2 pitch, fastball, got him swinging. 6 fastballs and 2 strikeouts for Ethan Ross. Dalton Mayshore, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. Finishing out the Knights lineup, Ethan Hedges batting 4th, the DH. Sam Stem batting 5th and right. Anson Arrows hitting 6th and catching. Ethan Hott batting 7th in left field. Mason Lee hitting 8th at second base. Ty Yukamoto batting 9th at short, and now Ethan Ross, 6 pitches in, 2 strikeouts, goes to work on Dalton Mayshore. Mayshore swings and hits one foul into Urchin Alley to the right. No balls and 1 strike the count. 7 pitches, 7 strikes for Ethan. Ethan peering in to Anson Arrows, now comes back, and there's a breaking ball that misses. So the first pitch, other than a fastball, breaking ball misses up and away, and the count 1-1. 2 down, nobody on in the top of the first inning. Ethan back to the plate. Fastball a little low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. The Knights battery, Ethan Ross and Anson Arrows. Blake Avila at first, Mason Lee at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Tyler Quinn at third. The 2-1 pitch is lofted towards the alley. Actually lands on top of the Dixon Recreation rooftop. The count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ethan Hott in left for the Knights, and he is. Sun beating down on him out there with J.C. Ing in center, Sam Stem in right. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Difficult to envision a better start for Ethan Ross. He strikes out the side. We'll go to the bottom of the first and see how right-hander Jesse Alfaro fares against the Knights lineup. The Pickles go in order after half an inning. Portland nothing. The Knights coming up. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. With umbrellas popped open and sunscreen being applied and sprayed, we go to the bottom of the first. The Knights and Pickles on this gorgeous Sunday at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. No score. J.C. Ing, Tyler Quinn, and Blake Avila coming up against right-hander Jesse Alfaro. And the first pitch from Jesse, fastball strike to J.C. 0-1 the count to a guy that just had a marvelous summer, contributing in a variety of ways. Alfaro, big leg kick with a little hurricane jerk in it, delivers inside. JC at 222, but he has 19 runs batted in. He's stolen 9 bags. He takes a fastball down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Tyler Quinn on deck. No score, bottom of the first inning. Jesse Alfaro, 6 foot 190 out of Cal State Fullerton. Kicks and comes back, and JC sprays it foul down the left field line beyond the TNT Builders party deck to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alfaro working with Luke Bard, his battery mate. The right-hander with his face behind his glove as he reads the sign. Now rocks, kicks, and delivers a breaking ball high. The count goes full to 3-2. Brooke Knight in his usual spot, coaching at third. Ed Nags coaching at first. A hot Sunday, very light breeze, rippling the flag beyond left center field. The 3-2 fastball to JC, high and inside, ball 4. And Tyler Quinn will come to the plate. 3:30 down both lines at this beautiful symmetrical ballpark, the oldest ballpark in America in continuous use. This field has been used since 1907 with home plate in the very position it was established in 1907. First pitch fastball to Tyler Quinn is high. No other ballpark has been in continuous use since. 1-0 to Tyler Quinn. J.C. Ing held on at first by Kevin Ferguson. No score, bottom of the first inning. 1-0 to Tyler. Alfaro throws to first. And back to the bag dives J.C. 9 for 12 in stolen bases. Alfaro and Bard the battery. Kevin Ferguson at first. Armando Brasino at second. Jack Metro at short. Jackson Jaha at third. Alfaro's 1-0 pitch misses very high. Ball 2. And Luke Bard takes it upon himself to run out and visit with his battery mate. Control has been an issue for Jesse. He's making his 5th appearance, his 2nd start. In 9 innings, he's only allowed 2 hits, has not allowed a run, but he's walked 7 in those 9 innings, struck out 11, a record of 1-0, an ERA of 0. But he issues a leadoff walk to J.C. Ing. He's behind to Tyler Quinn, 2-0. Blake Avila on deck. Alfaro obviously in need of a strike. The right-hander delivers a line drive to center. Kyler Stancato in his tracks makes the catch. So that's the best way to get a strike. Pitch to contact and get an out. Tyler Quinn, good contact, but is out number 1. Tyler starting the day at 298, a couple of homers, 19 runs batted in. Blake Avila, the hitter, the Knights' leading hitter at 314. 2 homers and 16 runs batted in spite of going 0 for 4 in last night's game. Still has the distinction of leading the Knights with the 314 average. Left-handed hitter en route to Grand Canyon University. Watches as Alfaro drives J.C. Ing back to the bag. Alfaro straightens up, the right-hander wearing number 42. Kicks and comes to the plate and misses very high. Ball 1, 1-0 to Blake Avila. One ball and no strikes. John Tittman has surrendered, wearing his Corvallis Knights gear and cowboy hat on, has climbed out of the sun from his usual spot behind home plate to take refuge under the overhang of the Goss Stadium at Coleman Field press box, as a lot of folks have availed themselves of, including Paul Blackburn, who normally sits right in front of me, but that would be right in the sun, as yours truly is. And so Paul taking refuge in the shade. The 1-0 pitch to Avila, a high pop foul back of the plate. This one will find its way just below Blackburn and Company. A rare find into the seats directly above the concourse right behind home plate. It's tough to get a ball nestled in there. Avila found the second row of seats and a souvenir for a fan. Not yet. That fan, staying in the sun, ends up with a baseball. A throw to first and J.C. Ing back. 1-1 to Blake Avila. Bottom of the first inning. The Knights home tomorrow to the Redmond Dukes in a non-league game. The Kelowna Falcons then in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as the homestand continues. Alfaro comes to the plate. Avila fouls the fastball over the McGrath family press box. 1-2 the count. Alfaro declares in his bio on the Cal State Fullerton website that his favorite book, it has a Corvallis connection, his favorite book, Into the Wild, written by Corvallis' own John Krakauer. The 1-2 pitch, Avila takes high and away, ball 2, 2-2. John has been a magnificently successful writer from our hometown. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, no score, bottom of the first inning. Alfaro to the plate. Breaking ball grounded slowly to the second baseman, Brasinho. Armando's only play off the hot turf is to first base to get Avila. On the play, Ing advances to second. Ethan Hedges, the designated hitter, will be the batter. Ethan at .292 with a homer and 20 runs batted in. Ethan second in the RBI category to Sam with his 27. The first pitch to Hedges, fastball from Alfaro, a strike, 0-1 the count. Jesse this past spring at Cal State Fullerton, 12 appearances, pretty good numbers. 2 starts, an ERA of around 4. So a right-hander has not given up a run yet this summer with the Pickles, trying to keep it that way. Delivers the strike 1 pitch to Hedges high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike, Sam Stem on deck, the Knights RBI leader. No score, bottom of the first inning. Ethan Ross struck out the side in the top half. Alfaro's breaking ball catches the outside corner to run the count to 1-2. J.C. Ing getting his lead from second. Alfaro's 1-2 breaking ball sliced down the right field line in the corner, a fair ball. Ing will score easily. Ethan Hedges on his way to second, round second, heading for third. The relay to third, not in time. A 2-out triple for Hedges. The Knights lead it 1-0. A great start for the Knights in their bid to win their 6th straight. The first run of the summer, albeit a fairly small sample size, against Pickles right-hander Jesse Alfaro. A walk ends up getting cashed in, and now Sam Stem, the Knights RBI leader with 27. Ethan Hedges just picked up his 21st. Sam steps in and takes a strike, 0-1 the count. 1-0 Knights. Bottom of the first inning. A nice bit of opposite field hitting by Hedges. Alfaro strike 1 fastball away to Sam. The count 1-1. Jesse works out of the stretch with Hedges at third and 2 down. 1-0 Knights. Bottom of the first inning. And Jesse straightens up. The Cal State Fullerton right-hander to the plate. And Sam chases it a bit. Doesn't get it. 1-2 the count. The pitch appeared to be up and away. Sam takes a hack, and now Sam takes a hack, and he's in a hole, 1-2. Hedges, a short lead at third with Alfaro working from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch, a check swing and a breaking ball down and in. On appeal, Billy Yeager says no swing. Sam just did miss. He got the barrel stop just in time, at least according to one Billy Yeager. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the first inning. Sam tried to pick up Ethan Hedges and put up that crooked number here from the get-go. The 2-2 pitch taken low, ball 3, 3-2. Anson Arrows on deck. Hedges with a nice piece of hitting to drive in the game's first run, in the process getting his second triple of the summer. Ethan getting his lead from third. The 3-2 pitch, breaking ball taken in the turf for ball 4. 2 walks in the inning for Jesse Alfaro. And Anson Arrows comes to the plate, the switch-hitting catcher who walloped a 2-run double in last night's ball game to help put the game away for the Knights in Game 2. A pinch hit 2-run double. Arrows getting the start in this Sunday afternoon affair. The Redmond Dukes tomorrow at 6:35. We hope you make plans to join us. Sam Stem, a runner with 2 down, wouldn't be surprised to see him going. The pitch to Anson swung on and missed in the count 0-1. Tomorrow night, bingo night presented by the Corvallis Clinic Foundation to benefit Project Her. Hedges at third, Stem at first. The strike 1 pitch to Anson swung on and missed in the count 0-2. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the first inning. On Tuesday night, it'll be Hanson Insurance Group night in Two Towns Tuesday. Wednesday, AAA night. Wine Wednesday, presented by AAA and Knocking Point Wines. And the homestand closes Thursday, a Thirsty Thursday, and a Military Appreciation Night presented by Pioneer Connect. Alfaro's strike 2 pitch to Anson Arrows misses high. 1 ball and 2 strikes, bottom of the first inning, a run in. The Knights with runners at the corners and 2 down. Under the sun. I can't quite say it as Zimmerman did. Precious Angel, Under the Sun, but we're under the sun. A throw to first. Kind of an underrated tune in the Dylan body of work. In that period of time that Dylan fans and music critics say he kind of, as he himself declared that he had been found, a lot of people say musically he lost his way in that era. But Precious Angel, a good tune, Under the Sun. How was I to know she'd be the one? The 1-2 pitch taken, strike 3 called. Anson Arrows goes down looking. The Knights do get a run on the triple by Ethan Hedges, scoring J.C. Ing. We've got 1 inning in. Under the sun, it's the Knights 1 and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.
Now batting for the Pickles, the right fielder, number 14, Zage Lancaster.
1-0 Knights to the second inning. Zage Lancaster, Jack Mecho, and Armando Brasino for the Portland Pickles against Knights lefty Ethan Ross, who was dealing last inning. Struck out the side, commanding his fastball with velocity and accuracy. He delivers a fastball. Lancaster fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike. Zage Lancaster leading things off. hitting .220, a couple of homers and 17 runs batted in. Ethan, strike one pitch, drilled back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Nice swing by Lancaster. Taking it back through the box. He is the first base runner this Sunday afternoon for the Pickles. And Jack Mecho will be the hitter. Lancaster a threat to run at 6 for 7 in stolen bases. Jack Mecho having an outstanding summer, hitting .339, playing in his 32nd game. A couple of homers, 34 runs batted in. He takes a strike, arrows with a back pick down to first base. Lancaster gets back. No balls and 1 strike the count. Armando Briceño on deck. Bright hot sun on this Sunday afternoon, and even though it's one of those things where it says it's 86, feels like maybe 106, right where we sit. There goes Lancaster, a little hit and run, and the strike one pitch to Mecho, sprayed foul to the right and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. That said, no better place to be than right here on a Sunday afternoon. Beautiful day in Corvallis. Again, a very low AQI, clear blue skies. Another day of reveling on the river, I dare say, for multitudes here in our community. Glad you've made part of your day with us. Fastball on the strike 2 pitch taken. Strike 3 called. Ethan Ross on a warm day, probably very easy to get loose and feeling it, dealing it well. 4 strikeouts, all 4 outs by strikeout. And Armando Briceño, the hitter for the Pickles. And in fact, because of the 1 o'clock start, the river awaits yours truly at game's end. Family and friends going out to celebrate a birthday. Ross throws to first and Lancaster back. So when this ball game is over, whenever that may be, I will join family and friends on the beautiful Willamette. It's a great day for it. Time called. The third base coach, Barkus, is willing. Jordan Barkus wants to talk things over with his hitter, Briceño. With the Knights leading 1-0 in the top of the second inning. It is Linfield University Day today. I've had the pleasure of meeting several Linfield graduates and representatives who've made their way down the road. And, of course, Linfield alums scattered all over, not necessarily coming just here from McMinnville. But a lot of Linfield gear, T-shirts, and so on here. The first pitch was thrown up by Clint Hallinan, a former Corvallis Knight, and a member of a Linfield National Championship team in baseball in 2013. Linfield once had a national championship in baseball coached by a man named Ad Rutschman. Baseball. Armando Briceño awaits. He's yet to see a pitch. Ross again over to first base to Blake Avila. Zage Lancaster back. But for 165 years, Linfield has combined their small focus classes and their great athletics, Greek life, extracurriculars. Many Linfield Wildcats have played for the Knights over the years, and we are proud to have them in, and they're proud to be supporters of Knights baseball. Adley Rutschman, a former Knight himself, his grandpa, the legend at Linfield. Ross, another throw to first, and Lancaster back. By Dan Siegel's recounting of it here a couple of nights ago, the Patriarch Ad got to see Adley and his son Randy in the home run derby, and then Adley in the All-Star game proper the next night. What an experience for such a legendary man and figure, the outstanding Ad Rutschman, who exemplifies all that Linfield University is about. The pitch to Briceño, a strike, and the count 0-1. 1-0 Knights in the second. There goes Lancaster, another hit and run play. The strike 1 pitch hit foul to Urchin Alley. And the count to Armando, no balls and 2 strikes. Briceño starting the day at .301 with 22 runs batted in. Ross has struck out 4. All 4 outs have been by strikeout, and he's ahead to Briceño 0-2. Kevin Ferguson on deck. Ross's strike 2 breaking ball hit slowly wide of first. Avila fields, underhands to Ethan Ross coming over to cover for the out. 2 away. Nice job by both. Ethan engaging in his PFP and Avila fielding the ball off that hot turf. And with 2 away, Kevin Ferguson, the batter. Ferguson attended Battleground High School in the Pacific Northwest, of course, just a little bit north of the border and slightly to the east of Portland, but plays his baseball at the University of Hawaii. Out of the stretch works Ross. Fastball swung on and missed by Big Kevin. No balls and a strike. 1-0 Knights, top of the second. Kevin 6'4", 200. Getting the start today, Evan Cloyd was a late scratch. Ferguson playing in just his 11th game, hitting .250, looking for his first run batted in. He swings and misses, and the count 0-2. 2 outs, Lancaster at second, the Knights leading 1-0. Not a hint of a breeze, and normally, we kind of like that. We could use a little bit now. 0-2 the count with 2 down. Ross delivers, fastball, swung on and missed, strike 3. 5 strikeouts in 2 innings for Ethan Ross. Zage Lancaster stranded at second at the end of 1.5. Precious Angel under the sun. It's the Knights 1 and the Pickles 0 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Corvallis. Ethan Hott will lead things off against right-hander Jesse Alfaro. Ethan will be followed by Mason Lee and then Tai Yukamoto. The first pitch to Ethan on the inner half, belt high for a strike. 0-1 the count. Hott has been exactly that most of the summer since arriving from Stanford. He takes the strike 1 pitch away. He's hitting .303 with 17 runs batted in. Alfaro's 1-1 pitch. Hott tried to check his swing on appeal swing, and that's the right call. I'm surprised that the umpire, A, didn't call it a strike on his own, and B, that he needed help to see that there was a swing. The 1-2 pitch, kind of a herky-jerky big leg kick, and Alfaro to the plate and misses. Ball 2, 2-2. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the second inning. The 2-2 fastball taken. Strike 3 called. Nice job by Alfaro moving the ball around. Started hot with an inside fastball and finishes him off with one at the knees on the outside corner. Ethan strikes out. Mason Lee, the batter. 1-0 Corvallis, bottom of the second inning. Alfaro's got a little bit of that, as I've said before, the Jackie Gleason leg kick, and away we go. And away he goes, kicks and delivers, swung on and missed by Lee The count 0-1. I was pleased the other day to read something about Jackie and his signature line, the strike one pitch, not the and away we go. His 0-1 pitch, Alfaro delivers, strike two to Mason. And then Jackie, who would, after his monologue on his own show, I remember watching it in the mid-60s, the strike two breaking ball, a check swing to Mason, down and away. He'd kind of wrap it up. Here our guest tonight, smoking a cigarette, et cetera, and away we go, and would kick that leg out and walk off stage. That's the kind of kick Alfaro has. Jesse to the plate and misses ball two. But Jackie's most famous line on his show, and I'm sure in other forms of his brilliant, entertaining career, was how sweet it is. You can see and hear Jackie say it even now as I say it. The 2-2 pitch on the way, slapped towards the second baseman in the air, caught by Armando Brasinho. 2 away in the bottom of the second. Bases empty. The Knights leading 1-0. Tai Yukamoto, the batter. How sweet it is, Jackie would say with great relish. He stole the line, almost everything stolen. Very few original utterances. Somebody said something a long time ago and they get passed on for generations. But Jackie appropriated the line, Jackie being a big baseball fan. And either he heard about or listened to the gunner himself, Bob Prince, the voice of the Pirates. Yukamoto takes a strike. Alfaro comes back. Yukamoto blasts it to right. Back goes Lancaster to the warning track. Reaches up to make the catch. Crashes into the wall but held on to the ball. And the inning is over. Now, Brooke Knight, I think, is going to suggest that, hey, what Lancaster was picking up might have been the baseball. Nope, Brooke's going to accept the call by Billy Yeager of a catch, and that is the right call, and a very nice catch by Lancaster up against the fence in right. The Knights go in order in the second. Not necessarily how sweet it is for the Knights, but Jackie took it from Bob Prince, who used to say it during Pirates games in their halcyon days. At the end of 2, the Knights won and Portland nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Luke Bard, Kyler Stancato, and the top of the order, Jesse Pierce against Knights left-hander Ethan Ross. Ross delivers a first pitch fastball for a strike. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball, swung on and missed. The count 0-2. Explaining to Taylor, the strike 2 fastball, swung on and missed, strike 3. Taylor asking if I needed anything. Yes, ice water with ice would be nice. And Taylor's going after it. Luke Bard went after the fastball 0-2 and strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Ethan Ross. Every out save 1 has been by strikeout from the lefty, who's wheeling and dealing, playing fast and loose here today. Looking good. Kyler Stancato stands in, takes the first pitch just outside, ball 1. Left on left here for Ethan Ross working against Stan Cotto, former Corvallis Knight, West Coast League champion from 2 summers ago. The 1-0 pitch, Kyler lifts it foul into the stands in front of Aaron Salindi. So we've got the television stations covered here. Aaron works for KVAL and Brett Taylor right here to the right working for KZI. Fastball to Stan Cotto, swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. And yours truly right in the middle of the fanciful television stars on radio and the Knights live stream. We're all in it together on this warm Sunday afternoon. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Taylor, the lefty Ross delivers, and Stan Cotto fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top of the third, 1-0 Knights, trying to win their 6th in a row. Beginning to try to come together, as have the last 6 West Coast League champion clubs. The 1-2 pitch, Ross delivers and just misses with the slider a little bit high. 2-2 the count. He has been dominant with his fastball. He got an out on a breaking ball, on the ground ball. He comes 2-2, a check swing on an off-speed pitch on appeal, with Stan Cotto offering no swing, says Billy Yeager. That appeared to be a changeup from Ethan, and Stan Cotto just did stop the barrel. The count goes 3-2 with 1 out here in the third. Ethan to the plate. The 3-2 pitch is low for ball 4. Ethan had Stan Cotto 1-2, but that's another good plate appearance for the veteran hitter, now applying his craft at Cal State Bakersfield. Kyler Stan Cotto is also a base runner. We saw Kyler, as we've talked about during the series. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you, taking care of me. Thank you. Bringing ice water with ice. That ice won't last long, but it's here for now. Kyler, 22 bags 2 years ago for the Knights. Ethan's first pitch, knee-high for a strike to Jesse Pierce. Ethan announced his presence with authority, as the phrase goes, when he opened the game with a 3-pitch strikeout of Pierce. Jesse's seen 4 pitches, each of them for strikes. 0-1 the count. The tying run, Stan Cotto at first. The strike 1 pitch hit foul over my head and down into the entryway area of Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The count goes to no balls and 2 strikes to Jesse Pierce. Ben Crockett comes back bearing mimosas. I hope I'm okay to say that. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. The strike 2 pitch, breaking ball high. If he was supposed to be running to the store and getting some milk, well, he isn't. One ball and 2 strikes to Jesse Pierce. 1 out, a man aboard, 1-0 Knights in the third. Ethan Ross comes to the plate. Fastball high, ball 2, 2-2. Mentioning Jackie, how sweet it is, Bob Prince, and away we go. So glad to know the great Bob Prince is recognized as the originator of the phrase, or at least the popularizer, and Jackie stole it from him. The 2-2 pitch missing for ball 3, 3-2, one of the greats in the profession. Bob Prince, sort of underrated. People talk about Mel Allen and Scully and Barber and Jack Buck, but Prince was really one of the best ever at it. A legend in Pittsburgh. The 3-2 pitch taken for ball 4. Didn't miss by much. Ethan Ross issuing back-to-back walks. Kyler Stan Cotto to second, Jesse Pierce to first, and that's good work by this good Pickles club. In terms of getting handcuffed through the first 2 innings, 5 strikeouts. The leadoff hitter Luke Bard struck out. So 6 strikeouts, and the Pickles now have made Ethan work for everything else. Back-to-back walks, Jackson Jaha the batter. First and second and 1 out. Jackson struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning. Ross to the plate. Jackson, an inside-out hack, fouls it above his own dugout on the first base side. 0-1 the count. There perhaps aren't many who would track along with the Jackie Gleason references, but I'm grateful to know, listening today in Arlington, Texas, Ron Quintana who was Levi Jones's grandfather. I had the pleasure of visiting with Adam and Mary Catherine Jones last night. Mary Catherine's father, Ron, listening in Arlington and following his outstanding grandson, Levi Jones's career. So, Ron, thanks for listening. And you are, I'm told by Mary Catherine, 87. So you know of Jackie Gleason and Bob Prince, and I'm grateful. Jaha swings and misses, the count 0-2. And really glad to have your grandson in the Knights program and coming to the Beavers. The strike 2 fastball to Jackson Jaha, taken. Strike 3 called. 2 down. 7 strikeouts for Ethan Ross. Jaha walks slowly back to the Pickles dugout. And Dalton Mayshore, the hitter. Mayshore struck out in the first inning. 3 strikeouts in the first for Ethan, 2 last inning, 2 here in the third. And now Mayshore steps in with runners at first and second and 2 down. Top of the third, the Knights leading 1-0. First pitch fastball appeared to be a strike. The Knights didn't get the call. Arrows was anxious to throw down to first to try to backpick Jesse Pierce. Arrows turns and inquires, was the pitch a strike or not? Brooke Knight is asking. Bo Kearns is asking. I think because Arrows was so quick to try to make the throw to first, he didn't give Noah Hobart a good look at it. 1 ball and no strikes because it did appear to be a strike from here. Ross's 1-0 pitch, fastball swung on and missed by Dalton. The count 1-1. 2 on and 2 out in the top of the third inning. Dalton Mayshore out of St. Mary's College. 2 walks in the inning. Ethan Ross trying to get through it nevertheless. Fastball foul tipped at the plate. And the count goes to 1-2 to Mayshore. Hanson will head out to the mound for a conversation with Ethan Ross. 1-2 the count, 2 on, 2 down. Ethan is a strike away from fanning the side again. Linfield University Day, I mentioned the great Ad Rutschman winning football national championships at Linfield as the head coach and a mentor to so many coaches. Oregon State Hall of Famer to be, Mike Riley, said that Mike, learned more pure football, technical football from Ad than from anybody else he was ever under. He was a D coordinator for Ad in the late 70s at Linfield. And Ad, the only coach at any level, collegiately, to win national championships as a head coach in baseball and football. The 1-2 breaking ball, high, ball 2, 2-2. So as we think of Linfield University Day today, he's the first person that comes to mind, and I think that's probably true of many. Linfield, Ad Rutschman. Ad Rutschman, Linfield. Or maybe Adley these days. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch just missed for ball 3, 3-2. Arrows tried to frame it. Hanson looks over to the dugout where a few whimpers of protestation are coming, and Hanson, I think, said, it was away, but not by much. The runners will go on the pitch. Stancato from second, Pierce from first, 3-2, 2 down. Fastball, he gets him anyway. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Arrows kind of stares in at Dalton Mayshore after the strikeout, his 8th. He's fanned the side twice. Brilliant work today for Ethan Ross. We are through 2.5. It remains the Knights 1 and the Pickles 0 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Knights. First pitch, breaking ball, strike to J.C. Ing. 0-1 the count to the Knights' leadoff hitter, who swings and hits a one-hopper to the first baseman, Kevin Ferguson. Kevin playing behind the bag, fields cleanly, runs to the bag, one away. Tyler Quinn, the hitter. J.C., by the way, walked in the bottom of the first and ended up coming home on an Ethan Hedges triple, accounting for the game's lone run. If your home, office, or investment property is dirty, dingy, or worn, we encourage you to look into the services provided by All Pro Property Services. Tyler swings at a breaking ball, a line drive right at Armando Briseño, the second baseman. The first pitch out for Tyler, and quickly 2 down in the bottom of the third. All Pro Property Services have helped thousands get the best out of their properties, from investment renovations, facility services, housekeeping, move-out cleans. All Pro has the bases covered. Visit allproproperty.net for more information. First pitch fastball to Blake Avila, a strike. Both pitchers, generally speaking, doing a good job of filling up the zone. J.C. Ing walked, and he is the game's lone run. Ethan worked around 2 walks in the top of the inning and fanned the side for the second time. 8 punch-outs through 3 for Ethan Ross. The strike one pitch to Blake Avila, taken for strike 2. Blake grounded out in the first. Alfaro trying to make quick work of the Knights. The 0-2 fastball very high. Ball 1, 1-2. Ethan Hedges on deck. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Avila fights it off, fouling it straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Blake Avila. Jesse Alfaro shaking off Luke Bard. Now nods yes. Delivers the breaking ball foul back. I was hoping to see, and he might be here, but I don't think he is, head coach at Linfield now in baseball, Dan Spencer. Dan knows of national championships. The 1-2 curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Avila strikes out, and Alfaro, who has very good numbers coming in, has only now allowed 1 run through his 12 innings of work this summer, retires the Knights in order for the second straight inning. 7 in a row set down overall. Spence, the head baseball coach, not in the ballpark, but knows this place well, on Pat Casey's staff from 1997 through 2007. At the end of 3, the Knights won and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors. Portland no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Ethan Ross starts Age Lancaster with a strike. The 0-1 pitch hit foul into Urchin Alley to our right. And just like that, no balls and 2 strikes to Lancaster, who has the Pickles lone hit. Ross has struck out 8 through 3, and he's ahead of Lancaster 0-2. Jack Metcho on deck, Armando Briseño to follow. Ethan, strike 2 pitch, fastball inside, ball 1, 1-2. Ethan Ross and Anson Arrows, the night's battery on this hot, clear Sunday afternoon. A little bit of a breeze beginning to ripple Old Glory beyond the left field fence. A 1-2 pitch, a chopper towards third. Backhanded by Tyler Quinn, throws to first and pulls Blake Avila off the bag. And Blake kind of points to his own chest and says, "That's on me." But Quinn did kind of compromise Avila's position. Blake came off, wasn't able to maintain contact with the bag, and it's a throwing error on Tyler Quinn. And so the pressure, instead of an out to open the inning, in the form of Lancaster, a good runner at first base, on for the second time, a base hit, now aboard on an error, 6 for 7 in steals. The pitch on the way to Jack Metcho, swung on and fouled into Urchin Alley. No balls and 1 strike. Metcho struck out looking in the second. Jack has a look at Jordan Barkus, is willing down in the third base box. Out of the stretch, Griffin Williams coaching at first, by the way, and a throw over there. Griffin, with all of the rest of the Pickles, yells back. And back goes Lancaster. No balls and a strike to Jack Metcho. 1-0 Knights, top of the 4th. Ethan to the plate, a bunt shown, and the strike 1 pitch taken by Metcho for strike 2. Barkus has put on the hit and run a couple of times. He goes through the signs in the third base box. Magdaleno also may be hot within the dugout on the first base side, although the hitters are backing out and looking at Barkus. The strike 2 pitch, a 1-hopper to the left of Lee. He goes to Yukamoto for 1, and that's all. The Knights get the lead runner. Zage Lancaster retired on the fielder's choice, 4-6, 1 away. And Armando Briseño, the batter. Metcho is also a threat to run at 6 for 7 in stolen bases. Briseño swinging at a breaking ball, grounded out to Blake Avila in the second inning. 1-0 in the 4th. Ethan to the plate. First pitch fastball high and away. Ross and Eros the battery. Blake Avila at first, Mason Lee at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Tyler Quinn at third, Ethan Hott in left, J.C. Ing in center, Sam Stem in right. Fastball sprayed foul above the Omaha room to the right and out of play. When I watched Jordan Barkus in the third base box, that time it was a little bit different. Signs, ultimately, there's only so many places you can go, and areas you touch and going through the motion, but I mean, they have looked pretty much the same each time, almost as though Barkus had studied Larry Parks as Jolie in the Jolson story, learning the moves. Ross throws a fastball way over the head of Arrows to the backstop. On the wild pitch, Metcho advances to second. The count 2-1, meanwhile, to Briseño. And the Pickles with an opportunity here to get the ball game even. Both Briseño and Ferguson coming up against Ross. An error to open the inning. We'll see if the Pickles can cash in. Fastball swung on and fouled at the plate. The count to Armando, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ethan has gone all the way. The left-hander taking a long look in at Anson Arrows. And now the Southpaw's 2-2 pitch. That's lifted foul above the Omaha room and heading over towards the sand volleyball courts. They've got the street blocked off, and the volleyball courts have been, I think, shut down as a result of that, unfortunately. Kids really enjoy getting out there on the hot days, and it is a vacant court today. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Knights. Ethan Ross glances back at Mecho. The lefty to the plate, breaking ball high. Ball 3, 3-2. Koufax didn't have his curveball in Game 7 in 65. All he had was a fastball, and all he did was strike out the last 6 Minnesota Twins in Game 7. Fastball, 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 fastball. Struck out the last 6. Dodgers won it 2-0 in Game 7. Pitch on the way is slap foul off the Omaha Room brickwork and down into the Jack Riley concourse. The count remains 3-2 to Armando Briseño, and I say that only because watching Ethan Ross today dealing really good fastballs today doesn't appear to have command of the secondary stuff. We'll see what he tries to do with Briseño. 3-2. The tying run at second. The 3-2 pitch, fastball grounded back at first. Blake Avila fields, stumbles a bit on the field turf, but then takes it to the bag himself for the second out. On the play, Jack Mecho advances to third. Kevin Ferguson will be the hitter. Now, that's one of those events in time, getting back to Brooks Robinson and what you know about things you didn't experience. Not, that the phrase, that was before my time, I've never been a huge fan of. The pitch on the way to Ferguson, blooped into center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Kevin Ferguson gets the Pickles even an unearned run. The error to open the inning. Cashed in on the nice piece of hitting by Ferguson, going back up the middle, a 1-1 tie. Brooke Knight coming out, and I'm not sure what Brooke, I don't know if he wants to go out and see if Ethan's okay physically. He has been just brilliant today with his fastball. 8 strikeouts through 3 2/3. But Brooke, either espying something in the mechanics, the delivery or something, asked the home plate umpire, Noah Hobart, can I go out and see about my guy from a physical standpoint without being charged for a visit? Noah went out along with Brooke and catcher Anson Arrows, and Ethan assures all that he's okay. So he pitches on. Now, I came across the game in 1966, saw Koufax pitch in person twice. The pitch on the way, swung on and missed by Luke Bard, 0-1 the count, a 1-1 tie in the 4th. But immediately, because you fall in love with something, a subject, you start just devouring it, right? Reading everything you can about it. So that 65 doesn't have his fastball Koufax story. I learned early in my life, at the age of 7. Koufax didn't have his fastball in Game 7 in 65, and yet won 2-0 and struck out the last 6 Twins hitters on nothing but fastball. But you learn that, even if you didn't, quote, live it. Luke Bard fouls it back in the count 0-2, just as we learn about the miracle at Coogan's Bluff. Ruth's called shot, supposedly. Gehrig's speech, 56-game hitting streak. Gene Bearden beating the Sox in the playoff game. Al Smith having a beer spilled in his face in the 59 series. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Bard. Breaking ball away from Ethan, and the count 1-2. A 1-1 tie. Top of the 4th inning. The Pickles trying to salvage one of the 3. Ethan Ross comes set under the sweltering Sunday afternoon sun. A long hold for Ethan. The 1-2 pitch, a check swing on the fastball. Hit foul to the right and out of play. The count remains 1-2 to Luke Bard. Luke out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Attends Houston Christian University. Started 19 ball games there this past spring. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, a 1-1 tie. Ethan ready, the lefty delivers, and the breaking ball misses up. Ball 2, 2-2. I can't remember the name of the Arkansas pitcher that Trevor Larnach took deep for the 2-run homer. But he, too, could not throw anything but a fastball late, and that hurt him. The 2-2 pitch hit foul off first. Larnach came to the plate knowing that the Arkansas reliever had not thrown a breaking pitch or anything off speed for a strike throughout that 9th inning, wherein the Beavers made their historic rally with a little help from the Razorbacks. Larnach just came up saying, I know I'm going to see a fastball early because the guy's not throwing anything else. Matt Cronin, thank you. Ben Crockett remembers. A throw to first base. You were there. I was there too. I just don't happen to remember the guy's name. But without, if you're just throwing fastball, 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 even if it's fast and good hitters, and Larnach a great hitter, got after it and hit it out. 2-2 pitch, a ground ball to third. Tyler Quinn goes the short way to Mason Lee at second for the force on Bard to retire the side. An opening error is cashed in for an unearned run for the Pickles in the fourth. On a hit, they leave one, and at the end of 3.5, Portland won, the Knights won on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the fourth inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, a 1-1 tie. An unearned run pulls the Pickles even, and now right-hander Jesse Alfaro starts Ethan Hedges with a strike, 0-1 the count. Alfaro back to the plate with the 0-1 pitch, down and away. 1-1 to Ethan. Hedges with the big swing of the ball game for the Knights. A 2-out triple into the right field corner to score J.C. Ing for the Knights' lone run. The 1-1 pitch at the knees on the outside corner, strike 2 to Ethan. Ethan Hedges, Sam Stem, and Anson Arrows against Alfaro. The 1-2 pitch, lifted foul again off to the right and out of play. Alfaro, the righty, has gone all the way, delivers a breaking ball, grounded to third. A nice easy hop for Jackson Jaha, who throws across to get Hedges. One gone, and Sam Stem the batter. Sam drew a walk in the first. Alfaro and Bard, the battery for the Pickles in their series finale. Kevin Ferguson at first, Armando Briseño at second, Jack Metro at short, Jackson Jaha at third. Jesse Pearson left, Kyler Stancato in center, Zage Lancaster in right. Sam Stem takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Alfaro working quickly, the right-hander ready to go again. Kicks and delivers the 0-1 pitch. Sam checks his swing and takes the fastball up and away. A much appreciated breeze. It's not a strong one, but we feel it beginning to kind of flow through our vantage point here. Ours being Brett Taylor from KZI and yours truly. He nods in affirmative. Yeah, it feels good. Cools it down just a tad. 2 balls and a strike to Sam. Anson Arrows on deck. The 2-1 pitch misses high, ball 3, 3-1. Alfaro got himself in a little trouble out of the gate, walking the first batter that he faced, and that is the guy that scored, namely J.C. Ing. The 3-1 pitch, Sam strokes it to deep left center field. Pearson Stancato going back. The ball short hops the Horesco chiropractic sign in left center field. Stancato gets the ball back in, but Sam Stem launching a double deep to left center field, pulling in at second, and the Knights with an opportunity now to regain the lead with Anson Arrows coming to the plate. Stem, the team leader in runs batted in with 27, has just picked up his team-leading 9th double as well. And he also leads the club in triples with 2. So, while his batting average coming in is 237, it's again a very productive, robust 237. Anson Arrows shows bunt with 1 away. He's up there to bunt for a hit. He takes high and away, ball 1, 1-0. Anson struck out looking in the first. A 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 4th inning. Stem's a 1-out double, giving the Knights with a couple of shots now to regain the lead. Alfaro back to the plate, misses high. A throw by Luke Bard down to second. Sam Stem gets back. 2 balls and no strikes to Arrows. Just sitting here in the high 80s under the sun. I remember compelling my Uncle Jay to take me to a doubleheader, American Legion doubleheader in Redding, California on a July day in 1969. The 2-0 pitch. Arrows checks a swing on a fastball up, ball 3, 3-0. Uncle Jay took his young nephew, and we sat through 2 9-inning games in Redding in 116 degrees. That's a loving uncle, to be sure. I was missing baseball. The 3-0 pitch, a strike to Anson, and the count 3-1. And part of the reason I wanted to go is there was a pitcher for the other team, not for Redding, but for the other team, named Don Pride. And I remember thinking, Don Pride, I wonder if he's any relation to Charlie, the country music aficionado I had become. The 3-1 pitch to Arrows is roped into right field for a base hit. Rounding third is Sam Stem on his way to the plate. He scores standing up. Arrows a base hit to right field. The Knights regain the lead at 2-1. Anson Arrows swinging the bat well. That pinch hit 2-run double last night. The go-ahead RBI single here for Anson. His 12th run batted in. 2-1 Knights in the 4th. The batter is Ethan Hott. There goes Arrows. The pitch is inside. The pitch is a swinging strike on a check by Hott, and Hott is the throw to second is in time to get Arrows. Nice job by Luke Bard, throwing the ball down to Jack Metro for the out on Anson. On the caught stealing. I don't know if the hit and run, if it was a straight steal, but Hott couldn't get to a swing. He lifts one foul over my head and into the entry area. The Urchins, bless their hearts, running and sprinting as, they're going through getting ready for football daily doubles, it looks like. Those don't happen anymore, do they? Breaking ball grounded back up the middle to the right of Briseño. Off-balance throw to first by Armando is in time to get Hott. The inning is over, but the Knights regain the lead. A double for Stem, a base hit for Arrows, and at the end of 4, the Knights 2 and the Pickles 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.
Pickles, the center fielder, number 16, Kyler Stancato.
I give Brett Taylor great credit. He's still here. His counterpart from the other station has moved on. The heat overwhelming Erin, so she's on her way. Now, she may have another assignment. I don't know. Brett is still here as Kyler Stancato steps in and takes down and away. Ball one, 2-1 Knights. Top of the fifth inning. Ethan Ross walked Kyler in the third. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. Ethan Ross touched for an unearned run last inning, did not strike anybody out after fanning the side twice and striking out 2 in the second. The 1-1 pitch pulled on the ground to the left of Mason Lee from shallow right. Mason fields and throws to first to get Stancato to open matters in the bottom of the fifth, and Jesse Pierce will be the hitter. Pape Material Handling keeps you moving one step closer to home. Again this season, Pape Material Handling and the Knights have teamed up in support of Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit dedicated to helping people lead healthy and productive lives. To learn more and how you can get involved in this great effort, please check out One Step Closer to Home, corvallisknights.com/COI. The pitch to Jesse Pierce, a fly ball to right field. Sam Stem is right there to put it away. 2 down on 3 pitches in the inning. And Jackson Jaha, the batter. And it's the type of inning that Ethan Ross would like to just see continue in this sort of pace. He labored a bit last inning. He delivers to Jaha, whom he's fanned twice. Jackson with his folks within earshot and sitting with Casey and Amy up here not far, hoping that Jackson can kind of solve Ethan. The strike one pitch in the turf, and the count 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the fifth, 2-1 Knights. The 2-1 pitch swung on and lifted foul to the right beyond the first base coach Griffin Marshall. Count to Jaha, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top of the fifth. Ethan Ross nodding yes to Anson. The left-hander delivers, and that's poke foul to the right and out of play. Jackson stays up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. The homestand continuing tomorrow night, a non-league game against Redmond. We'll have it for you beginning with the pregame at 6:20. Jaha takes high, ball 2, 2-2. Then the Kelowna Falcons in town Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Jackson, hit foul into Urchin Alley, into the rooftop area, the entrance to Dixon Recreation Center, and the kids are tempted to create a human ladder, climb up, and get the baseball. The 2-2 pitch in the turf, ball 3. This is a good plate appearance, very intelligent for Jaha, in that he saw 2 outs on 3 pitches, and he's done a good job to work the count full, 3-2, and keep Ethan laboring out there under the sun. Ethan shakes off arrows twice, comes 3-2, hit sharply to the right of the second baseman Lee, who backhands, flips to first, and the inning is over. A couple of assists in the frame for Mason Lee, and a good job by Ethan Ross through 5. After 4.5, the Knights 2 and the Pickles 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. 2-1 Knights, bottom of the 5th inning. Mason Lee, Tai Yukamoto, and J.C. Ng against Jesse Alfaro. And the first pitch in there for a strike to Mason, who popped out to second baseman Armando Brasinho. In the second, Alfaro, with that quick tempo, comes back and delivers a strike one fastball for strike two. 0-2 to Mason Lee, Tai Yukamoto on deck. Alfaro's strike two pitch is strike three called. Noah Hobart is engaging in a little bit of Leslie Nielsenism. You remember in the brilliant scene in Naked Gun, one of the better conceived scenes in modern day comedy. Yes, I consider Naked Gun a modern day comedy when my favorite films are from the 30s, Fields and the Marx Brothers. So 88, very modern day. The pitch to Yukamoto, low, ball one. I still will take duck soup, monkey business, it's a gift, the old-fashioned way, the bank dick over almost anything that's been done since. The 1-0 pitch misses for ball two, 2-0 to Yukamoto. Animal Crackers, 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. But in that well-conceived scene, Nielsen realizes that calling strikes was a crowd pleaser. After the initial strike, he says to Jay Johnstone, here's the crowd cheer, and starts calling everything strikes from that point on. 3-0 to Tai Yukamoto. The 3-0 pitch, there's a Nielsenism, taken for a strike, and the count 3-1. Alfaro's 3-1 pitch, that's a strike, and Jesse doing a nice job. He walked J.C. Ng. Ended up walking 2 in the first inning, hasn't walked anyone since. He's come back from 3-0 to 3-2 to Yukamoto. The Knights leading 2-1. The 3-2 pitch lifted foul. So a nice job by Jesse, pounding the zone after falling behind 3-0. Alfaro back to the plate. The 3-2 pitch, a line drive into left field. Base hit. Amy and Casey Weiss are taking care of we media mavens here today. Thank you. Amy has just discovered some ice down below and brought me up a cup of ice. Casey brought Brett a hot dog a little while ago. So thanks to the kindness of our friends nearby, we're getting through on this Sunday afternoon. Tai Yukamoto, a nice piece of hitting, has hit the ball hard twice. A line drive base hit here to probably chase Jesse Alfaro, and it will. Mark Magdaleno is out. The pitcher for the Pickles comes in not from the bullpen, but out of the dugout. He appears to be a left-hander. Magdaleno will apprise Noah Hobart of the pitching change. The Knights lead it 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning in this series finale. A left-hander in for the Pickles. It looks like Aiden Herrick, although Aiden is listed as a right-hander and wearing number 12. We'll see if I've got a different number 12 listed here. We'll try to sort that all out when we return. The Knights 2 and the Pickles 1, back in 90 with a pitching change on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Okay, I'm a little nervous here about who the pitcher is because Aiden Herrick is who's on the roster wearing number 12, but he's listed as a right-handed pitcher, and we clearly have a left-hander on the mound. And I'm trying to see if Magdaleno has a different number for someone else. 12. Oh, yes. Okay, there is a 12 by the name of Sluza, wearing 12, and he's not on any roster that we have. So this is a young man named Sluza, John Philip Sluza. Well, maybe not John Philip, but Sluza delivers, and the strike one pitch rolled foul. No information on who this kid is. Don't even have a first name for Sluza. It's not Aiden Herrick. Aiden Herrick is a right-handed pitcher. And so 12, looking in the penciled-in names on the Pickles active roster for today, there's a guy named Sluza. Or Souza. I can't quite read it. It's handwritten. I think it's Sluza, could be Scuza. No balls and 2 strikes. We'll try to ascertain the identity of the mystery lefty working against the Knights. J.C. Ng with the Knights leading 2-1, bottom of the 5th inning. Tai Yukamoto at first and 1 out. And the breaking ball hits J.C. Ng. J.C. walked and scored back in the first. He gets hit by a pitch here in the 5th. Yukamoto down to second, Ng at first. Tyler Quinn, the batter. A right-hander is throwing in the bullpen for pitching coach Brian Grant and head coach Mark Magdaleno. Andrew Stapleton appears to be the right-hander out of San Jose State, as is Knight starter, who has been tremendous today, Ethan Ross. Tyler Quinn at the plate. The runners go. The pitch is high. The throw goes into center field. Rounding third, coming in to score will be Tai Yukamoto. J.C. Ng into third base. The Knights lead it 3-1. A double steal put on by head coach Brooke Knight. Yukamoto and Ng both with steals, and then the throwing error on Luke Bard, enabling Yukamoto to score. 3-1 Knights, the infield drawn in as ordered by Mark Magdaleno. The 1-0 pitch to Tyler, hit high and deep to left. Jesse Pierce back to the track, to the fence. The ball goes off the middle of the 14-foot fence. Down the line to score is J.C. Ng, and Quinn into second with a double. The Knights lead it 4-1. Great job by Tyler Quinn. A long double. Jesse Pierce gave it a pretty good shot, but the ball halfway up the 14-foot fence and left. Brian Grant, the pitching coach for the Pickles, asked for time and will come out. Drew Stapleton continuing to throw. I'm going to see, there's no information on the Pickles roster as to the identity of, so I'm going to see if, without any other information other than Sluza for baseball. Trying to find enough shade to see my phone. Sluza baseball. Is that enough? Jace Souza baseball? Okay, let's see if that's who we've got on the bump. My apologies, everybody, but there was no information given on the roster. Jace does appear to be left-handed, so we may be closing in on it. From Hawaii. I'm not fully committing to it yet, but I'm going to go with Jace Souza. Could it be Jace? Is that who you got? Or Josh? There's a Josh Souza. Okay, where's he going to school, Amy? Cuesta College? Where's he from, though? Is there a hometown listed? No hometown listed. So we do have a mystery person on our hands. Josh Souza, Jay Souza. Our apologies, but Souza It is Josh. Goes to work on Blake Avila. The reason I ask is there's a left-handed kid named Jay Souza out there too. So Josh Souza, we believe, is the guy on the hill. And if I have time between innings, I will run down to the Pickles dugout and ask somebody. I have 90 seconds with which to do that. The old wheels don't move as quickly as they used to, but I'll give it a shot. No balls and 2 strikes, meanwhile, to Blake Avila. Breaking ball taken. Strike 3 called. Avila didn't think so. Strikes out looking against Souza. 2 down, the Knights leading 4-1. And the batter will be Ethan Hedges. Bottom of the 5th, the Knights have scored twice to push the lead to 4-1. Ethan Hedges drove in the game's first run, a triple to right field in the first, grounded out in his last at-bat. Souza to the plate and misses high and away, ball 1, 1-0. A bright, hot first day of the week. The Knights trying to win their 6th straight. Take a big step in that direction here in the 5th with 2 runs and looking for more. Hedges takes a strike and the count 1-1. 6:35 tomorrow night. And then the Kelowna Falcons, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6:35. And it's off to Walla Walla. Out of the stretch works the lefty Souza, comes to the plate. 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. 1-2 to Ethan Hedges. 4-1 Knights, bottom of the 5th. Tyler Quinn, the runner at second with 2 down. Souza peering in to Luke Bard. The left-hander comes set, glances at Quinn, comes to the plate, a check swing on the 1-2 pitch on appeal. No swing, says Billy Yeager, and the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Knights with 2 runs in the inning. Trying to sweep the Pickles after a sweep of the Drifters in 3. This after stumbling out of the gate at 1-2 in Longview. Trying to make it 6 straight and build some momentum for the second season. The 2-2 pitch on the way, a line drive to right. Moving back on the ball is Lancaster to make the catch. The inning is over. The Knights get 2. I'm going to hustle at the end of 5. The Knights 4 and the Pickles 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. What do you got, Brooks?
As members of the American Tree Farm System, our forests are certified to be both sustainable and healthy.
We go to the top of the 6th inning. Brooks Hatch has just delivered a former Corvallis Knights report. I appreciate that. sharing of information. I also think he appreciates getting out of the hot box to the left. And even though it's pretty warm out here under the sun, I think he just likes feeling a little bit of the fresh air in the sun, and he brings me a written report on former Knights in the big leagues. We'll get to that in a moment. As we go to the 6th, I was able to get down to behind the Pickles dugout, and one of their coaches apprised me of the identity of the mystery lefty. Josh Souza out of Pepperdine, they say. And that's all we know about him. I'll see if I have any stats on him. I don't believe that I do. That may have been his Pickles debut, and I believe it was. He was handwritten in with pencil with a number 12 and just a last name that looked like Sluza on paper. It's Josh Souza. And now as we go to the 6th, Max DeBeck takes over for Knight starter Ethan Ross. After a great outing for Ethan, Max DeBeck works Dalton Mayshore and misses on the first 2 offerings. The big righty back to the plate, the 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. Mayshore fanned twice against Ross. Ethan had 8 strikeouts through 3, ended up not striking out anyone in the 4th and 5th. The 2-1 pitch outside, ball 3, 3-1 to Mayshore. 4-1 Knights in the 6th inning for big Max DeBeck. The 3-1 pitch swung on and fouled over my head and out of play. The count goes full to Mayshore at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Max's 3-2 pitch hit sharply to the Knights shortstop, Tai Yukamoto. Fields cleanly and throws across to Blake Avila. 1 away in the 6th, and Zage Lancaster, the batter.
Now batting for the Pickles, the right fielder, number 14, Zage Lancaster.
DeBeck is making his 11th appearance. He started 2 ball games. 17 2/3, 5 hits allowed, 12 walks, 19 strikeouts, a record of 1-1, an ERA of 2.03. First pitch fastball high to Lancaster. Zage has a base hit and has been aboard on an error. The Pickles with just 2 hits. Ethan Ross was magnificent today. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled at the plate. The count 1-1 to Lancaster. On the Brooks Hatch, former Knights in the Bigs report, and a former Beaver in the mix too, even though he never suited up for the Knights. Stephen Kwan, former Knight today, 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a double in the Guardian 6-5 loss to Texas. The 1-1 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-2. One thing I note about highlights these days in the various forms, my feed, The Athletic or whatever else, they'll show me Julio Rodriguez hits 455-foot homer or whatever. The pitch on the way from DeBeck, breaking ball high, ball 2, 2-2, 4-1 Knights, top of the 6th inning. But that's the lead. Julio does this. It doesn't say in a Mariner loss or the Mariner. So, you know, I lead with Kwan going 4 for 5, but they did lose. Breaking ball high from DeBeck, ball 3, 3-2. And I sort of understand it. Basketball's genius when Larry and Magic came into the game to begin to market and promote stars. It's Larry versus Magic this weekend, not necessarily the Lakers versus the Celtics. And I get that. And so baseball, in a sense, with a lot of compelling, dynamic, talented superstars in the game, when you get to some highlight feeds, they're telling you what a certain player did before they even get to how the team that they're playing for did. 3-2 fastball from DeBeck. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, 2 down. 4-1 Knights in the 6th. Jack Metro will be the batter. Ruby is coming up. Are you coming up to take a look and see how I'm faring? You know I'm good. I've got maybe an ice water. No, thank you. No ice cream. I've got the ice and the water, and maybe, a little water would be helpful. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, guys. Everybody looking in on the old guy today. I appreciate it. Jack Mecho takes ball 1-0. Amy just went and retrieved the ice. And even the Yellow Jackets looking at my perch today. Go away, go away. The 1-0 pitch, a little roller up along third. Charged by Tyler Quinn. He fields and throws to first. And Max DeBeck has an efficient, quick 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. After 5.5, oh, by the way, I'll get to the other former Knights in a moment. After 5.5, the Knights 4 and the Pickles 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Well, we made the supreme effort to try to get to know the pitcher for the Portland Pickles last inning. And Josh Souza just came by to say, hello, I must be going. As long as I was invoking Groucho and Animal Crackers in his great entry in the 1931 Classic, hello, I must be going. Hooray for Captain Spaulding, etc. Well, Josh Souza must be going. He's gone. We've got a new pitcher in for the Portland Pickles as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Knights leading Portland by a score of 4-1. Andrew LaCour, a lefty out of UC Davis and from former Pac-12 headquarters country, Walnut Creek, California. Andrew LaCour takes over for Josh Souza, who picked up for Jesse Alfaro. Bottom of the 6th, the Knights leading 4-1. Sam Stem, Anson Arrows, and Ethan Hott, the scheduled hitters for the Knights. When you visit Corvallis to catch Knights baseball, we encourage you to stay at your Best Western in Corvallis. It's the official hotel partner of the Knights with the largest hotel rooms in the city and an outdoor heated pool. And it's nice and cool on summer days like this one, too. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. The first pitch to Sam Stem from LaCour, in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. The left-hander out of the stretch with nobody on, comes to the plate and misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. My dad always used to tell me, when the Yellow Jackets are around, son, just ignore them. They won't bother you. Didn't quite have my dad's stoical ability. The 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. So I'm standing and ready to move, and I've got some things in my hand that I hope to take a swipe at. There's a persistent one just kind of hovering around the broadcast vantage point here. This hot Sunday afternoon in the Mid-Valley, the Knights leading 4-1. LaCour from the stretch comes to the plate. Breaking ball outside. Ball 2, 2-2. LaCour making his 6th appearance, 3 2/3, 2 hits, a run, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. 2-2 to Sam, who's walked and doubled. LaCour delivers. Sam, a fly ball to left field. Jesse Pierce has a play, moves a couple of steps to his left, and makes the catch. 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. Anson Arrows to the plate. Anson has struck out looking and had an RBI single. The talented, versatile, physical, tremendous athlete, University of Oregon player Arrows, the switch hitter, turns around to bat from the right side against the southpaw LaCour here in the bottom of the 6th. From the stretch with the bases empty, LaCour delivers. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 to Anson. The strike one fastball, again well located. Anson turns and looks at, maybe even says something to Arrows, or to, pardon me, the home plate umpire. Anson, Arrows to Hobart. A strike in the count, 0-2. LaCour delivers high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Left-hander Andrew LaCour. From the stretch, Andrew to the plate, down and in. Ball 2, 2-2. The Knights a run in the first. The Pickles pulled even with an unearned run in the 4th. The Knights answered with a run in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, lead at 4-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. The 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled back by Anson. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ethan Hott, the right player to be playing in today's game, on deck. LaCour's 2-2 pitch, a check swing, but it's strike 3 called on the call. And that's what Arrows is inquiring. Are you calling that a strike or is it a swinging strike? And the answer is the former. The home plate umpire saying, no, I called that a strike. Arrows not pleased. He might have offered at it anyway, but I think was rather surprised that he was rung up. That's twice today that Arrows has been called out on strikes, in between a solid run-scoring single in the 4th. Ethan Hott, the batter. Ethan has struck out and grounded to second. Swings and lines it into left field. Base hit. Jesse Pierce plays it off the turf, gets the ball back into Armando Brasinho. A 2-out single for Hott. And Mason Lee makes his way to the plate. Mason has popped out and struck out looking. Andrew LaCour, the 3rd pitcher of the day, throws to first base to his first baseman, Kevin Ferguson. The throw to second to the shortstop, Mecho, in time to get Ethan Hott, who was picked off and then subsequently caught stealing 1-3-6. And the inning is over. For the Knights in the 6th, no runs, a hit, nobody left. After 6, the Knights 4 and the Pickles 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.
For the Pickles, the second baseman, number 10.
Well, I just learned from Casey Weiss, or pardon me, from Amy Weiss. Casey's here too, and I always learn something from him. But Amy tells me as Max DeBeck goes to work here in the top of the 7th through 6 innings, the Knights 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Portland 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. Max missing high and inside to Armando Briseño. Max's 1-0 pitch is up and in again, ball 2, 2-0. Briseño, Kevin Ferguson, and Luke Bard, the scheduled hitters for the Pickles, although it appears as if a hitter is on deck for Ferguson. Briseño lifts one to center field. Moving back on it is J.C. Ing to make the catch, 1 away. DeBeck has faced 4, retired 4, picking up for Ethan Ross. Amy tells me that Stan and Lisa DeBeck, Max folks, are just getting home to settle in and watch the YouTube, the feed from Andrew and Casey and company. And Andrew I'm working alongside with today. We'll see a pinch hitter for the Portland Pickles here in the top of the 7th. The Knights leading 4-1. But the reason that they're just now settling in, here's what Amy said, that Stan and Lisa DeBeck were in Seattle traffic for the past 2 hours. The pitch on the way to our pinch hitter, a ground ball to first, fielded by Blake Avila. Blake runs into the bag, and they're quickly 2 down. And again, the handwriting for these coaches, writing in by hand some of the names on the roster. I believe that was Draven Nushida who just grounded out, and it was, as a pinch hitter. 2 down. And now the batter is Luke Bard. And I hear that and I say, on a Sunday afternoon too? And I know how brutal that traffic can be up there. And you had to deal with it on a Sunday for 2 hours? You're trying to cross the floating bridge. Did it take you that long? Breaking ball strike in the count, 0-2. 2 down to Luke Bard. 4-1 Knights. Bard, a slicing fly ball to right. It'll drop for a base hit. Sam Stem backhands it. Bard on his way for 2. Time called as the ball evidently went into out-of-play territory. A ground rule double for Luke Bard with 2 outs. A slicing fly ball down the line. And so with 2 outs, Luke Bard a base hit and Kyler Stancato the hitter.
Now batting for the Pickles, the center fielder.
Anson Arrows will go out for a conversation with Big Max DeBeck. The Pickles trying to draw a little bit closer here in the 7th. So, hello to you, Stan and Lisa. Hope that you made it through. You did. You're home. You're safe and sound. But 2 hours on a Sunday. What's going on up there? Or is that just Sunday in Seattle? When I hear Perry Como sing about the bluest skies you've ever seen are in Seattle and Here Come the Brides and all that, you all remember that show well. Tyler Quinn may not, but many of you do. It seems like he was singing about Seattle from a different time and place. Kyler Stancato steps in. 4-1 Knights in the 7th. DeBeck to the plate, and this one goes off the mid of Anson Arrows to the backstop. I'm writing down past ball. I'll confer with Brooks Hatch between innings, but Arrows didn't catch it cleanly. And the ball to the backstop. So with 2 down, a runner at third. Stancato, who has walked and grounded to second, trying to draw the Pickles a little bit closer with my friend the Yellow Jacket, not my mother the car, back here in the broadcast vantage point. Stancato fouls it back. I don't know what it is up here that is attracting this little friend, but he's buzzing around and creating distraction. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Stancato. Max DeBeck to the plate, off speed, and down and in, ball 2, 2-1. I think it's the movie Singles, made by Cameron Crowe, where one of the characters' jobs in the film is to study traffic patterns in Seattle. The 2-1 pitch, a ground ball by the mound to the right of Lee. Mason's got to hurry, he does, and the throw to first is in time to retire the side. That does seem like an important gig in that city but it didn't help the DeBecks on this Sunday afternoon, all of his studies notwithstanding. Good job by Lee, and that's it for the Pickles in the 7. No runs ahead, a man left. After 6.5, the Knights 4 and Portland 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Knights leading 4-1. I got to that Yellow Jacket and gave him a quick, hard hit, and I thought that would chase him away forever. I got him. Okay, there we go. That's enough. I hate to do that, but I can't take it anymore. I got work to do here. I had to. Oh, and here comes another one. So that one following the other as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Mason Lee steps in. The first pitch from the left-hander, Andrew LaCour, misses down and away. Ball 1, 1-0. Mason Lee, Tai Yukamoto, and J.C. Ng against LaCour. 4-1 Knights in the 7th. The strike one pitch hit foul to the Omaha room area. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. LaCour works out of the stretch, comes to the plate, swung on and fouled at the plate. Adley Rutschman today went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a double in Baltimore's 5-4 win over Miami. The Orioles playing tremendous baseball. Michael Conforto, not a former Knight, but a former Beaver, hot for the Giants of late. Went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a Giants 8-4 win over the Pirates. And the winning pitcher in that game for the Giants, former Corvallis Knight, Ryan Walker, pitched for the Knights in 2015. That is the former Beaver Knights report from today. Thank you to Brooks Hatch. Mason Lee fouls one at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. LaCour delivers high, ball 2, 2-2. Mason has popped to second and struck out looking. Tai Yukamoto on deck, 4-1, bottom of the 7th. LaCour back to the plate, a comebacker. Nice play by Andrew. Fields and overhands the toss to the new first baseman, Jesse Pierce. And with 1 away in the bottom of the 7th, Tai Yukamoto will be the hitter.
Next time. Here's Tai Yukamoto.
Yukamoto lined to right in the 2nd, hit the ball hard and deep. The ball caught in right field by Zage Lancaster, then singled, stole a base, and scored a run in the Knights' 2-run 5th. 4-1 Knights. The first pitch, a strike from LaCour here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Andrew out of the stretch. The lefties strike one pitch. A chopper to first baseman Jesse Pierce, right on the bag in fair territory. Steps on the bag. 2 down. And J.C. Ng will be the hitter. Draven Nushida now playing left field for the Pickles, with Jesse Pierce coming in from left field to play first after Nushida hit for Ferguson. Left on left, the first pitch to J.C. just misses for ball 1. Andrew LaCour and Luke Bard the battery for the Pickles. Pierce at first, Armando Briseño at second, Jack Metro at short, Jackson Jaha at third, Nushida in left, Kyler Stancato in center, Zage Lancaster in right. Breaking ball to JC, misses for ball 2. JC's done his job today as a leadoff man. Walked and scored in the first, hit by a pitch and scored in the 5th. 4-1 Knights in the 7th. LaCour's 2-0 pitch. He's jammed, is Ng, and pops it foul off third. Right there to grab it is Jackson Jaha, and a solid inning for Andrew LaCour. The Knights go in order. We go to the 8th. The Knights 4 and the Pickles 1 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.
For the Pickles, the left fielder, number 44, Jesse Pierce.
The top of the order coming up for the Portland Pickles in the top of the 8th inning. The Knights leading Portland by a score of 4-1. Jesse Pierce leading things off for Portland against Max DeBeck, and Big Max delivers a strike. 0-1 the count. Pierce has struck out, walked, and flied to right field. 1,505 the attendance for this Linfield University Sunday afternoon affair. The strike one pitch, chop foul at the plate. 0-2 the count. First Alternative Co-op is your community-owned grocery store, providing fresh, local, and organic groceries since 1970. The Co-op makes it easy for you and your family to buy local and eat healthy. You can stop by their deli, enjoy their fresh brewed coffee, house-made pastries, delicious salad bar, and much more. Everyone is welcome at the First Alternative Co-op in 2 locations in Corvallis. The strike 2 pitch to Pierce, fouled back. 0-2 to Jesse. 4-1 Knights in the 8th. Max kicks and comes to the plate. Fastball stroke to center. J.C. Ng is right there. Reaches up to make the catch. 1 away. Welcome breezes beginning to come our way and flow through our broadcast vantage point. The umbrellas continue to be popped open here. The television people have left. They don't have the perseverance of those of us in the old-fashioned medium. They're TV people, for crying out loud. They've gotten their highlights They're on their way back to file their stories. It was great to see both KVAL and KEZI in the ballpark today. Breaking ball strike to Jackson Jaha. Back to the plate. Jaha, line drive to right field. Base hit. Sam Stem came on and took a swipe at the ball. If it gets by him, Jaha's going to be at third and maybe be able to do a little bit more. Stem did a good job to knock that one hopper down in front of him. So a base hit for Jackson, who in his first 2 at-bats had struck out against Ethan Ross and then grounded out to the second baseman, Mason Lee, but a solid base hit to right field for Jackson. Dalton Mayshore, the hitter. And the first pitch is a breaking ball outside from Max. Ball 1, 1-0. 4-1 Knights, top of the 8th inning. A 1-out single for Jaha, held on by Blake Avila. Max from the stretch. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball away, ball 2, 2-0. Ethan Ross went 5, struck out 8. The only run for the Pickles was unearned. Max on for his 3rd inning of work. Delivers, hit foul over my head out into Urchin Alley. And again, those youngsters with plenty of energy. They've actually been protected by the shade much of the day, provided by Dixon Rec, and so they're actually probably faring better than many of us who have been in the brightness all day. 2 balls and a strike to Dalton Mayshore. Max to the plate, breaking ball, drops in for a strike. Good pitch from DeBeck to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Redmond Dudes in the ballpark tomorrow. Yeah, that's the name of their team. They should have said, "Hey Dude," not "Hey Jude," according to Ed Sheeran. But it's the Redmond Dudes in tomorrow. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. DeBeck to the plate, breaking ball, a check swing, no swing, and the count goes full to Dalton Mayshore at 3-2. Zage Lancaster on deck. Three balls and 2 strikes. Jackson Jaha getting his lead at first. Max from the stretch. And the right-hander's 3-2 pitch. Fastball grounded up the middle under the glove of Mason Lee into center field. Mason was trying to get himself in position to field and flip to Yukamoto. May have been thinking about trying to do that quickly for the possibility of a double play, and had the ball go under his glove. Sharply hit, not an easy play.
Now batting for the Pickles, the right fielder, number 14, Zage
And
Lancaster.
that's going to go as a base hit for Dalton Mayshore. And so the tying run comes to the plate, and Zage Lancaster here in the 8th. 4-1 Knights, top of the 8th inning. Lancaster, a right-handed hitter, has struck out, been aboard on an error, and struck out again. Or single to center, pardon me, been aboard on an error and struck out. DeBeck delivers, the pitch gets away from Arrows, and the runners move up 90 feet on the wild pitch. So suddenly, the Portland Pickles with life and a chance to really get right back in it. A base hit would likely score 2 and turn this into a 1-run affair. So Max with some work to do here, working against Lancaster, wearing number 14 on his back. The Knights infield at normal depth. DeBeck's 1-0 pitch, down and away, ball 2. I learned yesterday, and mentioning Ron Quintana earlier, but from Adam Jones, Levi's father. Levi wears number 14. Levi not in the game today, but I don't think Levi necessarily chose 14 for his father's sake, but Adam Jones's favorite player growing up was Jim Rice, who wore number 14 for the Red Sox. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. Good choice on Adam's part. Rice was a phenomenal player, an underrated player. And his 1978 season, one of the greatest in the modern era of baseball. 2 balls and a strike, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. The pitch on the way is hit foul, back of the plate into the entry area under the bicycle racks. And urchins young and old give chase. weaving their way through the bicycles. And there's another souvenir to be had. Meanwhile, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Zage Lancaster. Jaha at third, Mayshore at second. DeBeck's 2-2 pitch is high, ball 3, 3-2. The Knights winning the first 2 games of the series and leading this one 4-1. But the Pickles trying to make a move here late. Runners at second and third and 1 out. Big situation for Max and the Knights to deal with. DeBeck from the stretch. The 3-1 pitch, 3-2 pitch is a breaking ball outside, ball 4 to load him up. Jack Metro, the hitter, and a very good hitter. One of the top RBI men in summer collegiate baseball. He comes to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. Anson Arrows out to the mound to confer with his battery mate. Bo Kearns will join the conversation as well. Bo making the slow walk and wiping the perspiration from his brow. I was glad in our pregame conversation with Zach Johnson earlier today to learn that Zach, who's on his way to Utah Valley, transferring out of the University of Portland, that Bo gives a very good report on the pitching coach at Utah Valley University, one Grant Kukuk, whom Bo says he knows well and respects, and that Zach will be in great hands there. Kukuk went to Reno High School and played at Sacramento State, but Bo, I'm sure, giving that same message to Zach Johnson about, hey, that's a good spot to land out of the portal, Utah Valley University in Orem, where Zach says he has a lot of family members living. So it'll feel a little bit like home for him, even though he will be changing schools. Bo Kearns back into the dugout. Max DeBeck would love to throw the ground ball and double play right here. The infield a double play depth. Bases loaded, 1 out. 4-1 Knights in the 8th. Max to the plate. Fastball outside. Ball 1 to Mecho. Jack struck out against Ethan Ross in the 2nd inning. Aboard on a fielder's choice, ended up scoring the unearned run for the Pickles in the 4th, grounded out to 3rd in the 6th. Here in the 8th, Metro a chance to do some damage. Bases loaded, 1 out. 4-1 Knights in the 8th. DeBeck's 1-0 pitch hit foul towards Urchin Alley, and Urchin. Kid had a glove and he saw the ball coming in, didn't have a lot of time to make the read, dropped it, but stayed with it and comes up with a souvenir. Our first EU of the 2023 season. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. DeBeck works out of the stretch. Max trying to get through a troublesome 8th. Breaking ball and a good one for a strike. The count 1-2 to Mecho. Armando Briceño on deck. Breeze is blowing out, 88 degrees. The projected high adjusted to 89. I predicted several hours ago we'd hit 90 before the day is over. 1-2 the count with 1 out. DeBeck ready, delivers, fastball hit foul toward the alley again, off to the right and out of play. Pape Material Handling keeps you moving 1 step closer to home, teaming up again with the Knights in support of Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit. To learn more about the 1 Step Closer to Home initiative sponsored by Pape Material Handling, please visit corvallisnights.com/COI. DeBeck's breaking ball in the turf. Anson Arrows way out to block it to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with the sacks full. Top of the 8th inning. The Knights leading 4-1, but the Pickles showing signs of life offensively. DeBeck with a count of 2-2 and the bases full. Comes set. Max comes to the plate. Fastball grounded up the middle into center field. Base hit. Jaha scores. Mayshore will too. And it is now a 1-run game with the RBI machine known as Jack Metro picking up 2 more on the ground single to center. The Knights 4 and the Pickles 3. Stopping at second base on the play, Zage Lancaster. That'll be all for Max DeBeck. The Knights will go to the bullpen in trying to bring this sixth straight win home. But Jack Metro just has a way. RBI guys, it's a skill. It's not just a matter of luck and who's on base in front of you. I never will believe that ever. It's a skill. And some guys are better at it than others. Metro, with 2 RBIs, has 36 this summer. And he draws the Pickles to within a run. This will lead to a pitching change. Neil Feist will get the baseball with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 8th inning as the Pickles draw closer, the tying run in scoring position when we return. The Knights 4 and the Pickles 3 back in 90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Neil Feist will try to get the Knights out of this top of the 8th inning, wherein the Pickles have scored 2 and pulled within a run at 4-3. A 2-run single for Jack Metro. Zage Lancaster the tying run at second, Metro at first, Armando Briseño the hitter. And Neil Feist into the game for the Knights, now clinging to a 1-run lead with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Neil making his 12th appearance. The right-hander works out of the stretch and comes to the plate in the turf, ball 1. Feist has worked 27 innings. That is tops on the squad. He's allowed 25 hits, walked 13, struck out 17, a record of 1-1, and ERA of 3.33. 2 on, 1 out, 2 runs in, 4-3 Knights in the 8th. Feist delivers a ground ball off of Feist, deflected towards the hole into shallow right, and no play from Mason Lee. It's a base hit. Brooke Knight comes walking out of the Knights dugout to see if Neil's okay. The ball hit sharply back up the middle, and Feist is already saying, it went off my leg, I'm fine, go back, I'm okay. Brooke doesn't even cross the line into fair territory. Armando Briseño, an infield single. And the Pickles have the tying run 90 feet away with only 1 out, and Draven Nushida, the hitter. So the Pickles kind of rising up here in the 8th. They've been quieted most of the day by the combined efforts of Ethan Ross and Max DeBeck. But they have 4 hits in the inning, and they're within a run. Zage Lancaster at third base. The tying run. Feist delivers to Nushida, a strike. 0-1 the count. The Knights dugout coming to life with that called strike. The Knights have won 5 straight, but their opportunity to make it 6 is being challenged. The 0-1 pitch, fastball for a strike, and the count 0-2. And it's not only the Knights now, but their fans, 1,505 on this Sunday afternoon, getting into the spirit of things as well. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Pickles. 0-2 the count with 1 away. Luke Bard on deck. Neil Feist works from the stretch. The veteran right-hander kicks and comes to the plate. Lifted foul off third. This will carry out of play into the upper grandstand on the left side. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Pretty quick feet shown by a papa up in the upper grandstand. He comes up with the baseball. He's with his son. A young girl comes up and wants the ball, but I think in this case, Papa's going to give the ball to his son. No balls and 2 strikes. Neal to the plate, and that's hit foul again to the left. This will carry out of play. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, it's a whole family that can share the one baseball. That's good to see. They have that whole upper grandstand to themselves. Nobody else in it. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded. 4-3 Knights in the 8th. Feist working on the left hand, hitting Draven Nushida. Neal to the plate, fastball away, ball 1, 1-2. Zage Lancaster at third. Jack Mecho at second. Armando Briseño at first. The 1-2 pitch, high from Neal. Ball 2, 2-2. Big pitch here for Neal. Doesn't want to go full with the bases loaded. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Feist's 2-2 pitch, a ground ball slowly to Mason Lee. He goes to second for 1, across to first, not in time, and the ball game is tied. Lancaster comes down the line to score to pull the Pickles even at 4. The ball simply hit too slowly to result in a double play. An RBI ground out for Devin Nushida. 3 runs in the inning, a 4-4 tie. And Mark Magdaleno, the head coach for the Pickles, may be considering a pinch hitter. I think he's going to call Luke Bard back and bring a new hitter to the plate. With the only out on the play available at second base on the fielder's choice, 4-6. Jack Mecho, the tying run now at third base. Nishida aboard on the fielder's choice at first. And we'll see about the hitter now. If indeed Mark Magdaleno has called on a different batter, and he has. Coming to the plate for the Pickles in this 4-4 tie will be Andrew McKenna. Andrew out of Washington State. Pinch hitting for Luke Bard, a left-handed hitter against Neil Feist. With Mecho at third, 2 down. Possible first and third double steal opportunity here for the Pickles. The pitch to McKenna. Fastball misses from Feist. Ball 1, 1-0. 3 runs in the inning for Portland to pull even. Neal out of the stretch. And the pinch hitter McKenna awaits. The 1-0 pitch is high. Ball 2, 2-0. Tyler Stancato on deck. Jack Mecho at third, Draven Nushida at first. 2 balls and no strikes. Neal turns and throws to first, driving Nushida back. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Blake Hiraki comes running in with catcher's gear on from out of the Portland Pickles bullpen. Brand new ball game now, 4-4 in the 8th. Feist trying to make sure the Knights aren't facing a deficit. The right-hander's 2-0 pitch misses for ball 3, 3-0. Good job by the Pickles hanging in. They lost the first 2 games of the series and trailed this one by 3 going to the 8th. Ball game now tied. The 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1 to McKenna, the pinch hitter. McKenna, a .317 hitter with 13 runs batted in. Summoned off the bench by Mark Magdaleno. Trying to give the Pickles the lead. The 3-1 pitch is high and away to load them up. Kyler Stancato, the hitter, with the bases loaded and 2 down. Brooke Knight is looking down towards the bullpen to see if whomever the Knights have ready is ready or getting ready. Caden Siegel had gone down a little bit earlier. Neil Feist, meanwhile, right foot on the rubber, getting ready to face Stancato. With the bases loaded, 2 down, and a 4-4 tie. Kyler fouls the first pitch to the left and out of play above the grandstand on the left side, which has no one sitting in it. Again, just a very few souls in the upper grandstand to the left. Most have sought cover and trying to get out of the direct path of the sun. 4-4, top of the 8th, bases loaded, the strike 1 pitch. Stancato takes outside. Kyler, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. 1-1 the count. Kyler has walked and twice grounded to second. Metro at third, Nishida at second, McKenna at first, 2 down. Feist's 1-1 pitch, Stancato swings and fouls it over the top of the McGrath family press box and into the grassy area in front of the entrance to the ballpark. 1-2 the count. Neal is a strike away from keeping the tie preserved. When the Knights bat in the bottom of the inning, Tyler Quinn, Blake Avila, and Ethan Hedges, the scheduled hitters. 4-4, top of the 8th, 1-2. Bases loaded, 2 down. Neal delivers a ground ball to Mason Lee. Mason looks it in, throws to Avila, and the inning is over. However, the Pickles get 3 to tie. They leave 3 at the end of 7.5. The Pickles 4 and the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. The Knights have been caught at 4, a 3-run top of the 8th inning for the Pickles. So the Knights will try to push one across here and then bring it home in the 9th inning. Tyler Quinn, Blake Avila, and Ethan Hedges, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Knights against Pickles left-hander Andrew LaCour. Tyler, in the midst of an excellent season, has had another good ball game. He's lined out twice and doubled home a run. 4-4, bottom of the 8th. The left-hander LaCour from the stretch delivers down and away, ball 1 to Tyler Quinn. LaCour coming on in the 6th inning, now working here in the bottom of the 8th. Comes to Tyler, fastball strike. The count 1-1. LaCour set. And the 1-1 pitch coming up to Tyler Quinn, taken for a strike, and the count 1-2. The Redmond Dukes for a non-league game tomorrow night at 6:35. The Kelowna Falcons then in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 4-4, bottom of the 8th. Tyler swings a soft liner over the leaping attempt of Armando Briceño into right field for a base hit. Tyler Quinn representing the go-ahead run. A base hit to right field, the lead matters off. And now Blake Avila, the hitter. Just about everyone in Knights gear is asked to bunt from time to time. Now Avila has considerable power, and whether or not Blake is asked to do it, we'll see. But he has a look, thank you. He has a look at Brooke Knight down in the third base box. Blake is the 3-hole hitter. He's grounded out and struck out twice. Out of the stretch works Andrew LaCour. A toss to first base in the turf. Good block by Jesse Pierce. Tyler Quinn, a good runner over at first base. Tyler 7 for 8 in stolen bases. And Avila does show bunt. Pulls the bat back and takes a strike. 0-1 the count. So again, you play for the Knights. You do indeed play the short game no matter who you are, where you are in the lineup. At least for one pitch. We'll see if Brooke leaves it on. The go-ahead run represented by Tyler Quinn at first. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th. Another throw to first, and Tyler gets back under the watchful eye of first base coach Ed Nags. Brooke Knight going through the signs at third. The Knights a run in the first, a run in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. Have been shut down by LaCour since. Andrew from the stretch. Avila is bunting, looks at a breaking ball a little bit high. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Brooke was telling me that one of the players on the field for the Pickles, when the Knights were bunting early the other night, kind of gave it, bunting this early, come on. But perhaps that same player would understand that this late, not a bad idea. Avila not bunting here, a full swing, and fouls it at the plate. And the count goes to 1-2. Bottom of the 8th inning, a 4-4 tie. Tyler Quinn, a leadoff single. The bunt certainly off now with 2 strikes. Ethan Hedges on deck. A throw to first by LaCour. And again, Tyler steps back to the bag. Tate Shamau, is the runner at first base. The pitch on the way, high and inside to Avila. Shamau getting the leadoff single. And if he hit for Quinn earlier, that's something sitting out here battling Yellow Jackets under the sun that I may have missed. But Shamau is the runner at first here in the 8th. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Blake Avila. Another throw to first. And again, Tate back to the bag. 2-2 to Blake Avila on this warm, leisurely Sunday at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Andrew LaCour out of the stretch, another throw to first. And again, Shamau back to the bag. Blake Avila with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ethan Hedges on deck. Ethan an RBI triple back in the first inning. LaCour from the stretch. The lefty kicks and comes 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 1 away. Avila, who had been hot, and struck out 3 times today. And the batter will be Ethan Hedges. The aforementioned triple has grounded to third and flied to right. I'm going to ask my broadcast partner today working on the live stream, Andrew Henderson, to check on Shamau, whether that was indeed Shamau pinch hitting. Shamau will get to second on a first pitch taken down and in. Appeared to be a wild pitch. Shamau, the runner, into second base. And so Blake Avila was not able to move the runner with a bunt. But on the first pitch to Ethan Hedges, a wild pitch ensues, giving Ethan a chance to get a base hit and give the Knights the lead back here in this 4-4 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. Andrew, if you could check on Shamau taking over for Quinn and when that actually occurred, just to make sure I didn't miss something else along the way. A throw to second base from LaCour to second baseman Armando Briseño. Shamau back to the bag. A 4-4 tie, bottom of the 8th inning. Ethan Hedges, a triple, a ground out, and a fly out. Looking for a base hit here and another clutch run batted in. Tate hopping away from second. The pitch to Hedges in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. Sam Stem, the on-deck hitter. Andrew LaCour bent halfway down, reading the sign, straightens up and comes to the plate. The 1-1 pitch just outside, ball 2, 2-1. Shamau, the go-ahead run at second in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Pickles scored 3 to tie. The Knights trying to get the lead right back in their quest for a 6th straight win. LaCour's 2-1 pitch, just outside, ball 3, 3-1. Sam Stem, the Knights' RBI leader, on deck. 3 balls and a strike to Ethan Hedges. Ethan, right-handed hitter out of USC, awaiting. Shamau, the go-ahead run at second in the bottom of the 8th. The 3-1 pitch. Ethan swings and pokes it into left field for a base hit. Shamau being waved around third. On his way to the plate. Nishida's throw is cut off, and the Knights lead it 4-3 on the base hit for Ethan Hedges. What a day for Ethan. An RBI triple in the first inning to give the Knights the initial 1-0 lead. Now an RBI single to left, and he ended up going to second base on the throw that was cut but dribbled a little bit by the cut man, deflecting away from Jahan, allowing Hedges to pick up an extra 90 feet. Sam Stem, a sharp grounder to first. Jesse Pierce fields and will run it to the bag himself. 5-4 Knights in the bottom of the 8th inning, with Hedges picking up his second run batted in. Anson Arrows to the plate.
Let's welcome to the plate now, the man that works behind it for you. The University of Oregon, number 43,
Anson
Anson Arrows.
Arrows has struck out twice and singled home a run. Has a chance to deliver another big late hit as he did last night and try to help the Knights put this a little bit, not out of reach per se, but just give themselves a little bit more breathing room. A 1-run lead at the moment going to the 9th. But Arrows with a chance to drive in Hedges and make it at least a 2-run lead to try to bring home and notch their 6th straight. The pitch to Anson, chopped foul past Brooke Knight. No balls and a strike. 5-4 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. An impressive response to the 3 spot in the top of the frame by the visiting Pickles. The Redmond Dukes in town tomorrow, 6:35, non-league affair. Kelowna in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. No balls and a strike to Anson Arrows. LaCour comes back to the plate, fastball high. After the go-ahead run scored, home plate umpire Noah Hobart issued a warning of sorts to the Pickles dugout, saying no more, that's enough. Trying to figure out what it was exactly that was under their skin. Didn't appear to be balls and strikes per se. Perhaps it was, but I didn't, from my perspective, didn't see anything that appeared to be too outlandish in terms of the interpretation of the zone. Arrows takes high and away, ball 2, 2-1. Ethan Hedges at third, 2 down, 5-4 Knights in the 8th. Arrows takes a breaking ball, and that misses, and the ball held up hopefully by Luke Bard, and perhaps that is the source of the disgruntlement within the dugout. Some of the close pitches have been called balls here in the inning. LaCour from the stretch with Hedges at third. The 3-1 pitch is high and away, ball 4. Ethan Hott, the batter. And Mark Magdaleno is going to make a pitching change break. It appears anyway. He's got a right-hander throwing, so as long as I see Magdaleno make the official call to the pen, and he has, I need time to sort out the Shamau-Quinn conundrum. So we'll take a 2-minute pitching change break here, waiting for the call to the pen, which hasn't quite been made yet, so I can't quite do it until he does. But if I see that gate open, I'm on the move. The Knights have scored a run to take the lead at 5-4. The breezes have picked up on this hot Sunday afternoon, blowing out to left center. Ethan Hott will be the batter for the Knights, and Magdaleno does make the call. 5-4 Knights in the bottom of the 8th with 2 down. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. So Tyler Quinn did get the base hit while I was busy writing things down and doing other things, trying to fight off Yellow Jackets. Tate Shamau came in as a pinch runner. Those Yellow Jackets are back again. Go away, eggnog. Go away. Okay, so Carter Delaney is the new pitcher for the Portland Pickles. The Knights have gained the lead 5-4. Tyler Quinn with a base hit to lead things off. Tate Shamau ran for him. I looked up and saw Shamau, and I thought, what, did Shamau hit? I didn't think so. But he came into the game and caught me unawares while writing and reading and looking and fighting Yellow Jackets. Shamau ended up scoring the go-ahead run on the base hit by Ethan Hedges. Hedges is now at third base. Anson Arrows drawing the walk. Ethan Hott, the batter, and Carter Delaney into the ball game out of the bullpen for the Pickles, trying to make sure Portland doesn't face a larger than 1-run deficit going to the top of the 9th. There goes Arrows, a bluff to second, the throw back to third, and Ethan Hedges gets picked off. Wow. Arrows goes. The catcher made a bluff to second base, Blake Haraki, and then Ethan's lead was too large. He tried to scramble back and couldn't. That's a tough note, a heck of a note, particularly if a run ends up scoring here. There's no guarantee the Knights were going to score again, but you kind of liked your chances, first and third, 2 down, and a good hitter in Ethan Hott at the plate. But the inning comes to an end with Ethan Hedges back picked. Ethan, though, did drive in the go-ahead run. He hopes indeed that will stand up as we go to the ninth. The Knights 5 and the Pickles 4 going to the ninth under the sun on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the ninth inning. The Knights leading 5-4. Kind of a long, hot Sunday under the sun. Caden Siegel will hope to bring it to a fairly quick end, though, here, as Caden comes out of the bullpen looking for a save here in the top of the ninth inning. Loosening up with Anson Arrows will set the Knights defensively. As we go to the ninth, the Pickles batted around and scored 3 with 4 hits last inning.
Now batting for the Pickles, the first baseman, number 44, Jesse Pierce.
They have Jesse Pierce to lead things off against Caden. Jesse will be followed by Jackson Jaha, and then Dalton Mayshore. Anson Arrows out along with the home plate umpire Noah Hobart with Caden Siegel about something. Not exactly sure why the umpire needs to be there too, what requires the presence of the umpire there. We'll talk about it here in a moment. Ethan Ross or Ethan Hedges, one or the other. You guys will make the decision in the end. Caden Siegel delivers a breaking ball strike. Hedges with an RBI triple in the first and an RBI single to break the tie. He broke ties twice. Can't go wrong either way. The strike one breaking ball from Siegel lifted in the air by Jesse Pierce to first baseman Blake Avila, who makes the catch. One away in the top of the ninth inning. And that'll bring Jackson Jaha to the plate. Caden Siegel with the opportunity to pick up a save in his third appearance, looking for his second save. He got one in Springfield earlier this week, delivers a strike to Jaha. Caden ready in the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball hits Jaha. Jackson will go down to first, representing the tying run. And Dalton Mayshore will come to the plate. 5-4 Knights in the top of the ninth inning. Caden Siegel and Anson Arrows, the Knights battery. Blake Avila at first. Mason Lee has moved over to play second base, or pardon me, to play third base for the Corvallis Knights, with Tate Shamau staying in the game after pinch running for Tyler Quinn and playing at second. Jordan Barkus comes down from the Portland Pickles third base box. The Pickles are going to have an offensive timeout here after Jackson Jaha hit by the pitch. Mark Magdaleno and his batter as well as his runner talking things over here now in the top of the ninth inning, with the Pickles getting the tying run on base with one out. So it's Caden Siegel and Anson Arrows, the battery. It looks like a runner for Jackson Jaha that the Pickles will use. And indeed, wow, the wind blowing in just blew a cup of water over here. That's a first on this hot day. Water all over the scorecard. I guess that's better than water on the knee. A base hit to, or a pinch runner after Jaha had singled in his last at-bat, hit by a pitch here. Nigel Calderon is the pinch runner for Jaha here in the top of the ninth inning. Caden Siegel, after a long delay, comes to the plate. And the ball gets through Anson Arrows, a wild pitch, sending Calderon the tying run to second. One ball and no strikes the count. A base hit gets the Pickles even. Calderon getting his lead from second. Tate Shamau playing back up the middle and fairly close to him. The pitch on the way inside. Good catch by Anson Arrows, and Caden behind the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Knights baseball presented by Oregon State Credit Union. They were the proud title sponsor of the Corvallis Knights July 2nd fireworks extravaganza. They provide great financial services to all of their members. You can join online at OregonStateCU.com or one of their 15 branches. Siegel delivers a fly ball into left center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Jackson Jaha's pinch runner Calderon scores, and the game is tied at 5 on the base hit to center field by Dalton Mayshore. A 5-5 tie. And that'll bring Zage Lancaster to the plate. So Calderon able to score from second on the base hit. Clutch hitting from Mayshore. 5-5 tie. Zage Lancaster the batter. Lancaster is single to center, been aboard on an error, struck out and walked. Caden delivers, in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Unfortunately for Caden, the first pitch of the inning, not a harbinger. He got an out on the first pitch, a pop out to Blake Avila. Since a hit batter, a wild pitch, and a run-scoring single, all even at 5. Caden hopes to be pitching himself into a win. Siegel's strike 1 pitch, off speed and in there. Strike 2, 0-2 to Zage Lancaster in a 5-5 tie. Top of the ninth inning. Pickles showing some good fortitude here late. 3 runs last inning to tie, another run here in the ninth to tie. Now trying to keep things going, put the Knights up against it. A throw to first base, getting back safely. Dalton Mayshore representing the go-ahead run. 5 runs, 8 hits, an error for Portland. 5 runs, 8 hits, an error for the Knights. 1505 on this Linfield University. Sunny Sunday afternoon in Corvallis. Siegel delivers, swung on and missed for strike 3. Off-speed breaking ball, 2 down. Jack Metcho will be the hitter. When the Knights bat in the bottom of the ninth inning, Ethan Hott, Mason Lee, and Tai Yukamoto, the scheduled hitter. 5-5, bottom of the ninth. Top of the ninth, Caden trying to get the Knights to the bottom with a chance to win it. Caden to the plate with a runner going. The pitch, a strike. The throw to second, a strike, and the inning is over. A 1-hopper to Tate Shamau from Anson Arrows. Dalton Mayshore gunned down, and that ends the inning. However, the Pickles rise up and tie the ball game again. They've done so in consecutive innings. The Knights need a run to win as we go to the bottom of the ninth. It's the Pickles 5 and the Knights 5 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Ethan Hott to lead things off for the Knights in the bottom of the ninth of a 5-5 tie. Carter Delaney misses down and away, ball one. The Pickles rising up for 3 in the 8th to tie. The Knights responded to regain the lead. The Pickles fight back to tie again. The 1-0 pitch to Hott, a ground ball to short. Picked up cleanly by Mecho, and he throws out Ethan. So the Knights, what seems to be so often the key to scoring a run, getting the leadoff man on, they don't. Mason Lee, the hitter. Mason has popped to second, struck out, and hit back to the box. 5-5, bottom of the ninth inning. Carter Delaney from the stretch. The righty delivers to the backstop. Way outside, ball one, 1-0. Tai Yukamoto waiting his turn on deck. A gust of wind blowing down a kind of a half-filled cup of ice water, creating just a sopping mess here on the table. And once again, my dear friend, Amy Weiss, bringing me some paper towels to clean up the mess. Thank you, Amy. The pitch on the way, foul back. So between Yellow Jackets and the sun and the wind, quite a day up here. The Knights trying to bring it to a close in a proper way by finding a way to score a run here in the bottom of the ninth and sending this crowd of Sunday afternoon 1,505 home happy. The pitch high, ball 2, 2-1 to Mason Lee with one out, nobody on. The 2-1 pitch misses from Carter Delaney, ball 3, 3-1. Delaney 6'5", 210. From UC Davis out of El Dorado Hills, California. Kicks and comes 3-1, a strike to run the count full to 3-2. One out, bottom of the ninth, the 5-5 tie. The 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled over the McGrath family press box and into the entry area of Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the ninth inning. Mason Lee, the hitter. Tai Yukamoto next. Delaney's 3-2 pitch hit foul again. Back of the plate and out of play. That ball landing off the facade of the McGrath family press box and staying in the ballpark. 3-2, Carter Delaney working on Lee again. Another 3-2 pitch popped up into shallow right field. Going out is Briseño. Lancaster coming in. Lancaster, the right fielder, at the last moment calling off Armando to make the catch. 2 away in the bottom of the ninth. Tai Yukamoto making his way to the plate.
Let's welcome to the plate now from Pacific University, number 2, Tai Yukamoto.
The Knights have Levi Jones available as a possible pinch hitter should the ball game extend as it appears it's going to beyond this 9th inning. The Pickles are an out away from sending it to the 10th. The pitch to Yukamoto, a strike. 0-1 the count. Phoenix call also available. Yukamoto has lined out, singled to left, scored a run, and grounded to first. The strike one pitch to Tai Missile that they can find a way, get a man on base, and see what perhaps the legs of Tai Yukamoto could accomplish. He swings and fouls one back, and the count 1-2. The Knights winning the first 2 games of the series to extend their winning streak to 5. But the Pickles down 3 runs going to the 8th. Rallied for 3 to tie, down a run going to the 9th. Rallied for a run to tie, and now a strike away from sending this ball game to the 10th. The 1-2 pitch fouled straight back. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 9th inning in a 5-5 tie. The Pickles seeking to salvage 1 of the 3 and cool off the Knights on this hot Sunday afternoon. The 1-2 pitch is up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tai Yukamoto. J.C. Ng on deck. Breeze is blowing out towards left center. Tai takes a fastball outside, ball 3, 3-2. The Knights just looking to get somebody on. That gives you a chance, of course. J.C. Ng hoping to get a chance to come to the plate. Yukamoto with a count of 3-2 and 2 down awaits Delaney. Carter delivers, and it's fouled away. Linfield University, our presenting sponsor today. Our thanks to Linfield, an institution in McMinnville for the last 165 years. The 3-2 pitch is slapped foul into the lower grandstand. A youngster walking obliviously down the steps down there, and the ball missed him by a couple of feet. I don't think he had any idea a ball was coming. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes as the winds pick up a little bit. A welcome breeze here in the bottom of the 9th inning of a 5-5 tie. Carter Delaney to the plate. Strike 3 called with Yukamoto ready to trot down to first, and what he thought was a pitch down and in. And the fans all over the home plate umpire Noah Hobart. Brooke Knight picks up the conversation as well, as if to say, where did that come from? We go to the 10th. It's a 5-5 tie. Pickles have worked their way to extra innings, to their great credit. At the end of 9, a 5-5 tie on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 10th inning, a 5-5 tie. The first pitch from Caden Siegel to Jack Mecho, a strike, 0-1 the count. The 0-1 fastball swung on and missed. 0-2. Caden Siegel working on Metro, who has 2 more RBIs today and has 36 on the season. Caden from the stretch with nobody on. The strike 2 pitch from Siegel, high, ball 1, 1-2. Metro, Brasinho, and Nushida in the 10th of a 5-5 tie. Caden back to the plate. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3, 1 away. A leadoff out. Such was the case last inning in the 9th from Siegel, getting Jesse Pierce on the first pitch. Hit a batter a wild pitch, then a base hit from Dalton Mayshore, chased home Nigel Calderon. Now Armando Brasinho, 1 for 4 on the day, an infield single off of Neil Feist in his last at-bat. Slashes 1 foul off of the facade of Dixon Recreation in the alley to my right. No balls and 1 strike to Brasinho. Draven Nushida on deck, top of the 10th. Fastball in there from Caden, strike 2. 0-2 the count. Siegel shaking off Ansoneros. Now Caden comes set. The strike 2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball away. Ball 1. Siegel and Arrows the battery. Blake Avila at first. Tate Shimao at second. Tai Yukamoto at short. Mason Lee at third. Ethan Hott in left. J.C. Ing in center. Sam Stem in right. Caden's 1-2 pitch. A chopper towards third at Mason Lee. Mason throws across to Blake Avila for out number 2. When the Knights bat in the bottom of the 10th inning, the top of the order, due up J.C. Ing, Tate Shimao, and Blake Avila. Draven Nushida, the hitter. Nushida came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. He's 0 for 2 aboard on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. Swings at Caden's first pitch and fouls it back. No balls and a strike. 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the 10th inning of a 5-5 tie. Caden back to the plate. The strike 1 pitch is in there. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Joey Munt had told me he thought he might be hot today. The strike 2 pitch from Siegel. A ground ball knocked down by Caden. Stays with it, comes off the mound, fires to first for the out. The inning is over. Caden Siegel with quick reflexes gave up his lower body a little bit to make the play and take a base hit away from Draven Nushida. Nicely done by Caden. He has a chance to get a win if the Knights can score a run here in the bottom of the 10th inning. After 9.5, it remains the Pickles 5, the Knights 5. And we're going to have a new pitcher coming in. No, we're not. Carter Delaney's still out there. Thought we saw somebody new coming in. Back in 90 on 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 10th inning, a 5-5 tie. Carter Delaney to J.C. Ing, swinging bunt right at the third baseman, who fields and throws to first for the out. One gone on one pitch, so no pressure put on Carter Delaney. Elijah Henning, who took over for Jackson Jaha with the play. One pitch, one gone. That's too bad. It feels like the hopes of all on getting that leadoff man aboard, and Ing is gone on one pitch. Tate Shamau, the hitter. Tate takes low. Tate scored the go-ahead run as a pinch runner for Tyler Quinn in the 8th, but that go-ahead run did not stand up. The Pickles rose up to tie it in the 9th. Here we are in the 10th, 5-5. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Shamau, chopped foul in front of his own dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tate. Blake Avila on deck. Avila is a candidate, certainly, for the one swing scenario with his good power. The 1-1 pitch to Shamau, and Tate also hit a home run down in Springfield as part of the Knights getting hot and winning 5 straight. Tate takes down and away, ball 2, 2-1. Delaney way outside, ball 3, 3-1. Trying to see if Brian Grant, Coach Magdaleno, might have, and they do, a left-hander throwing in their bullpen. Delaney kicks and comes 3-1. A line drive, base hit into left field for Tate Shamau. Draven Nishida plays it on a couple of hops. Blake Avila, the hitter. I doubt whether Blake's going to get a chance to bat against the right-hander Delaney, particularly with the left-hander throwing. We'll see. Avila, the Knights' leading hitter, has scuffled a bit today, and 0 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 4 today with 3 punch-outs. But, as always, standing in, a big-time threat. He will be allowed to face the right-hander Delaney with a winning run at first, bottom of the 10th. Blake takes high and away, ball 1, 1-0. Shamau scoring the tying run, or the go-ahead run, I should say, in the 8th to put the Knights up a run. Now hoping to find his way to the plate with a winning run here in the bottom of the 10th. Delaney's 1-0 pitch, high and away, ball 2, 2-0. Ethan Hedges on deck. It's a battle of Ethans for our player of the game. The committee, we are the committee, as they say in the Chariots of Fire, favoring Ethan Ross at the moment with his brilliant outing today, 5 innings and 8 strikeouts. Feels in this ball game almost like ancient history, but we did see it. He did do that. A throw to first, and back to the bag goes Shamau. 2-0 to Avila. Blake hooks one deep and foul in the right field corner, and the count 2-1. But should it so happen that Avila get on base and not win it, or move Shamau up to second, and Hedges drive in a third run, and this time a game winner, you might have to go with the other Ethan. We'll see. The 2-1 pitch just outside, ball 3, 3-1 to Avila. And it has a chance to set up that way with Hedges on deck. Ethan an RBI triple in the first, an RBI single in the 8th. Right now it's Avila, though, looking for a pitch he can drive. 3-1 the count, 1 out, bottom of the 10th, a 5-5 tie. The 3-1 pitch, a strike, and the count goes full. Brooke Knight is asking, is it a swinging strike, a called strike, palms upward? I think it's the latter, and the count is full at 3-2. Shamau, a good runner at first, held on by Pierce. He does go, and the 3-2 pitch hit foul off third and into the upper grandstand. Breeze is blowing out towards left center field. Shamau was on the run, 3-2 with 1 out. We'll see if Brooks sends him again. With Blake Avila at the plate, Ethan Hedges on deck. We're in the bottom of the 10th of a 5-5 tie. A throw to first, and Shamau, representing the winning run, dives back. Carter Delaney from the stretch. There goes Shamau. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second is not in time. So here comes Ethan Hedges with a chance to win it. for the Knights. First base is open. There's a left-handed hitter on deck with a left-handed pitcher in the bullpen. Avila has struck out 4 times today, so kind of a tough day at the yard for him. Shamau with the stolen base. Our thanks to All Pro Property Services and Pape Material Handling for making another contribution with that steal to Community Outreach, Inc. Ethan Hedges looking for his 3rd RBI and send the Knights home with their 6th straight win. Shamau, the winning run at second, the first pitch, breaking ball in the turf, blocked nicely by Hiraki. 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the 10th, a 5-5 tie. A base hit would win it. Ethan Hedges would thus clinch our Washington Park Advisors player of the game if he does indeed come through with another big hit. Shamau at second, 2 down, 5-5, bottom of the 10th. The 1-0 pitch to Ethan is high, ball 2, 2-0. Sam Stem, the on-deck hitter. The Knights winning the first 2 games of the series, led this one most of the way. The Pickles scoring 3 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, tying the game 2 innings in a row. The Knights trying to win it in the 10th. The pitch to Hedges, a strike, and the count 2-1. Ethan, an RBI triple in the first, an RBI single in the 8th, looking for an RBI winner in the 10th. Shamau at second, 2 down, 5-5. Carter Delaney steps off the rubber. Two balls and a strike to Ethan Hedges. Carter Delaney, the big righty from the stretch, comes to the plate 2-1. Fastball up and away, ball 3. 3-1. Delaney did a nice job to come back from 3-1 and fan Blake Avila. And now Hedges will be intentionally walked. Sam Stem, a left-handed hitter, the batter. Sam will face a left-hander who will be summoned in from out of the bullpen to face Sam with runners at first and second and 2 down in the bottom of the 10th inning of a 5-5 tie. So we will take a 2-minute pitching change break. We'll see if Stem can win it against a southpaw coming through the gate in left field. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 10th inning, a 5-5 tie here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Some interesting maneuverings going on here on the part of both coaching staffs, with Mark Magdaleno making the latest move. bringing in left-hander Jared Villalobos out of California Baptist University. Hometown of Fresno, California. Villalobos, the left-hander, will try to send this game to the 11th inning. A 5-5 tie, 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 10th, against Sam Stem, the Knights' RBI leader, who has walked, doubled and scored, flied to left and grounded to first. Stem trying to win it here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Shamau at second, Hedges at first. Villalobos out of the stretch, turns and throws into Tate Shamau, hit by the throw from Villalobos. Villalobos turns and says something to Shamau, I think in a good nature. Hey, didn't mean to do that. Of course he didn't. And now Sam Stem against the left-handed offerings of Villalobos. Trying to find a hole and give the Knights an exciting walk-off win. He swings, though, and hits a ground ball to the second baseman, who juggles, picks it up, and everybody's safe. The bases are loaded. Armando Briseño, on as routine a play as you'll ever see, kicks it and taps the chest, his own, with the baseball as he gets the ball then back to Villalobos, saying, sorry, man, that's on me, and there's no other. I mean, that's about as clear as any nonverbal indication could be. That's on me, and I don't think anyone would disagree. After a long, hot day under the sun, Sam Stem hits a routine ground ball to Briseño, and Armando bobbles it. So the winning run 90 feet away. Anson Arrows, the hitter. Arrows trying to win it with a base hit here. A wild pitch would also win it if Tate Shamau can get a good secondary. Villalobos to the plate. First pitch bounces away. Here comes the runner, the throw to the plate. Not in time. Shamau scores, and the Knights win it on a walk-off wild pitch, 6-5. Boy, baseball is a brutal game, and right now, feeling that more than anyone else, is the second baseman, Armando Briseño. A routine ground ball was hit his way off the bat of Sam Stem, and Armando just went to field it and did not come up with it cleanly. The ball was not hit hard. There was no tricky hop. Poor Armando just misplayed it, and instead of going to the 11th, the ball misplayed, enabling Anson Arrows to come to the plate, and no sooner had the words, and he could score on a wild pitch, were out of my mouth, that Jared Villalobos delivered a wild pitch. And Tate Shamau ends up scoring 2 big runs in the game. As a pinch runner, he came on in the 8th to give the Knights the go-ahead run, and then scores the winning run on the wild pitch uncorked by Villalobos. The Knights win their 6th straight. They complete a sweep of the Portland Pickles by a final score of 6-5 in 10 innings. Caden Siegel does indeed pitch himself into a victory. The Knights have won 6 straight. We'll take a break from league play tomorrow, and then we'll be back at it in West Coast League action on Tuesday night. Under the sun today before 1,505, pushing near 90 degrees. A hearty crowd, to say the least, stayed and were rewarded, staying to the end.
165 years, Winfield has combined small, focused classes with all of the athletics, and extracurriculars that students expect.
The question, who's the player of the game, and it's either Ethan Ross or Ethan Hedges. So I'll let the guys decide. They are the committee. The Knights win it 6-5. They've won 6 straight and are 7-2 in league play. And we will be back at it tomorrow night in a non-league affair against the Redmond Dukes. Good ball game. The Knights win it 6-5. Ethan Ross does get the player of the game. We couldn't go wrong with an Ethan. Ethan Hedges would have secured it with one more base hit. Well, it was a long day under the sun and a good ball game. The Knights won it 6-5, holding off the Portland Pickles, who rallied impressively twice to get the win on the wild pitch and complete the sweep. For Andrew Henderson, for Casey Lavin, for Thomas Rudolph, Garrett Dworshak, Dale Hummel, Casey and Amy Weiss and all of the great help received here today. This is Mike Parker from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, where the Knights complete the sweep. Our final score, the Knights 6 and the Pickles 5 and 10. Talk to you tomorrow night right back here on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. So long.